Hey, 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 happy Wednesday, everybody. It's January 31st, 2024. Welcome back, folks. We're going back to Idaho. Surprise, surprise. There's a new document that dropped. Change of venue. Looks like somebody's moving. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it. Let's do it. Let's get this show on the road. Here we go. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? How are you tonight? I hope everybody's doing wonderful. Missed you guys. It's been a few days. I've been having some technical issues. Sorry, folks. One of my monitors went out, so uh, got to fix that. So I'm running on half of a system right now, but we're gonna do this. I'm sorry that I missed y'all yesterday. I had some personal things going on, and today, like I said, the monitor thing, but I'm doing it regardless. So come on in, grab a seat. Let's do this thing. Um, like I said, there's a new doc that dropped. Miss Cluminati and Mr. Cletus are going to be joining us. Poof, just like that. That was weak. Anyway, here we are. And let's see who else is joining us tonight. Let's see. Happy Cappy, welcome. Good to see y'all. Jilly Bean, welcome back to you. Missy RN, great to have you here. Jennifer Jenny Jones, thank you for being here. Cindy Kerf, what's going on? Good to see you tonight, I should say. Sony's in the house. What's going on, Sony? Great to have you here. Welcome back. Say it loud for the people in the back, please. Welcome back to you. Stevie Irwin, great to see you, brother. Great to have you here. Evie Marie, thank you for joining us today. Beckles 3819, great to have you here. Cindy Kerf, again, great to see you. Great to have you here. Felicity J, welcome back, dear. Great to see you. Angel D's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Evie Marie, Cindy, Miss Zelda's in the house. Thank you, Miss Zelda, for joining us. I appreciate you so very much. Just snooping. What's going on? Let's see. Moonlit Baby, welcome back. Great to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. CL is in the house. Welcome back to you. Miss Brandy B, the OG's in the house. Welcome back. Great to see you. Great to have you here. Summer Jade, welcome back to you. Always a pleasure. Great to see you tonight. Lucia Olson, same to you. Sorceress, welcome. Great to see you tonight. Let's see, Miss Zelda, Summer Jade, Felicity J, Dana, Puffin Stuff's in the house. Welcome back, Dana. Great to see you tonight. Groot, welcome to you. Miss Teresa, great to see you. JK, what's going on? Good to see you. Great to have you here. Come on in, everybody. Grab a chair. Let's see. Let's see. In Stitches is in the house. Welcome back, In Stitches. Great to see you tonight. Anna Paula, welcome to you. Welcome, welcome. Bonnie M, great to see you tonight. Ro is in the house. Welcome back to you. Beta Victory. Beta Victory, good to see you. Victory. Beta Victory. Okay, there we go. I gotcha. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good to see you. Miss Carolyn Miller, always a pleasure. All Things Silver was in the house before anybody was. DS, welcome back to you. Great to see you tonight. Golf Inspector General, always a pleasure, dear. Thank you for joining us. Miss Bianca K, thank you for being here tonight. Let me see. Tallulah Short, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Looks like Miss Zelda has been a member for 11 months. Hey, that is amazing. Congrats, and thank you so much for being part of this community for so long, Miss Zelda. I appreciate you. Not to mention the fact that she's an amazing moderator as well. You are appreciated, Miss Zelda, so very much. Miss Teresa's been a member for 2 months. That's amazing as well. Thank you for that. You are appreciated, Canadian Cat Lady. Welcome to you. Good to see you. Don't ever worry about being late. Never late. Never late. Never late. Miss Lisa Vallejo, just great to see you. Just snooping. I think I've seen you, but welcome back anyway. Illuminati's in the house. Hey, make sure you're hitting that like button and leaving a little bit of DNA on that like button on the way in the door. Please, if you will. Let's see here. Let's see. Miss Dory has been a member for 9 months. Thank you for that, Miss Dory. She just keeps on swimming and swimming and swimming right over here. That was so corny. I'm such a cornball, guys. I'm so sorry. Ruth Ackland, welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Sandy Toes is in the house. Welcome to you, Sandy. Thank you for joining us tonight. I think, what is going on? Everybody's jumping up tonight. What is that? Miss Bonnie, thank you so very much. Bonnie gifted a membership, and it looks like it went out to Jill Elaine. Congrats and welcome to the sauce. Another meatball in the house. That's awesome. Welcome, 12. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Jennifer Hansen, great to see you as well. The DNA has been left. Thank you so very much. I will not, I promise you. Ford sucks. LOL. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Annie Peterson, welcome back to you. Again, Jill Elaine, and welcome to the sauce, ma'am. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you very much. And again, Miss Cluminati and Cletus on the panel here with us tonight. There's the link right there for you. Those of you that are not subscribed. Why can't I talk? Subscribed over there yet? Please go show some love. There's the link right there. You are appreciated so very much. Ro, what's going on? I see ya. 12 said I'm making potato a pepe. Sounds good. I'll try it out. Miss Bonnie, did you gift another one? Another membership gifted from Miss Bonnie, and that goes to Jilly Bean. Congrats, Jilly Bean, and welcome to the sauce. Great to have you here. That's a good question. No idea, Moonlit. No idea. Come on in. Justice in for Med. Good to see you. Are you gonna speak to me, Miss Clue?
Hi.
I know I ain't shut up in the past 10 minutes, but
That's where I was going, but
making sure you was in here. That's all. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a disc jockey. I just blah, 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 blah. Anyway, welcome to the show, my dear, and Mr. Cletus, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. As always, it's a pleasure.
What's happening?
Welcome, Mama 5. We can hardly hear you, Cletus.
I said, what's happening?
Here you
Is
go.
that better? All right.
That's happening. Eddie's in the house. One made nut. Thank you, Miss Brandy. There is the Amazon wish list. By the way, Clue, that's already been handled. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
But thank you, though. Lisa Wilson, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Tomboy Charm, there you are. Good to see you. Good to have you here tonight. La 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 la. Come on in, everybody. Grab a chair and get comfortable. We're gonna have a conversation. Oh my god, this monitor's killing me. So if I fall out, folks, like if you see I'm sitting here talking, and you just see me spaz out and flip out, it's okay. My monitor is doing this thing. This monitor over here, I think the cord went bad. Cletus, we come to that conclusion with. So it's doing this, and it's catching my eye, and I'm going, oh, okay, enough now. So, like I said, if I flip backwards and fall out, that's why. Don't let nobody worry. I'll be all right. What's up, Strutter614? Rista Roberts, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Mama Bear's in the house. Look at that. Hey, hey. Mama Bear's going to be going to bed soon. Thank you very much, Miss Zelda. That is so very much appreciated as well, guys. Anybody that has donated or does donate to support these links, this supports the channel. It is so very much appreciated. Definitely not expected, but more than appreciated. This keeps the bills paid so I can keep doing this with you guys. So thank you very much to any of you that do. I appreciate you so very much. What is going on, Miss Clue and Mr. Cletus? How is your day going?
Well, my day is amazing now. I have my new chair. I'm good.
Did it come in?
Early.
Hell yeah. There you go. Can't go wrong with that. How does it feel? Did you put it together?
I didn't. He did.
Well, yeah. I mean,
excuse me. I can put stuff together.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying that, but I kind of figured that. Okay.
I have to do it twice, but whatever.
You put that bicycle together pretty well. I don't remember what
you and Sarge did nothing but yell at me.
You were trying to get the pedal screwed on and didn't realize that wrench would fit that one nut. But yeah, other than that, you did a good job.
You did a good job. Well,
now you have a chair. What did you
how
say?
different is that one from the other one?
Okay, so picture yourself like, I don't know, on a hike or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's literally only rocks you could sit on.
Right.
Well, then you've got it.
Okay.
I'm serious. I was telling them, like, I couldn't, like, I don't know. I couldn't, like, feel the whole bottom half of me if I would sit on here for a long time. But the chair is so cute. Like, it's adorable.
Right. I get it.
You don't think this new one is? You don't think this new one is?
Yeah, but I mean,
it ain't cow print, so
that's the difference right there.
Yep. To be fair, I don't care. Like, it feels great.
Comfort is more important than style. I can promise you that much. Especially for as much as we do this daily. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I was telling them I had, like, slacked off on videos because it's like I would put them together, but by the time I was done, I didn't feel like editing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I get it. I do. I get it. Welcome. Love Tina. Good to see you. Jackie Young, you as well. Randy Furr, welcome to you. Mr. Philip Hughes, welcome. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're feeling good tonight. Did I miss Kristen LeBlanc? Sorry about that. Lily Moon, good to see you. Thank you for joining in. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Oh, Chad Button, good to see you from Iowa. And anybody I may have missed, I'm so sorry, but thank you for joining us tonight. You are appreciated so very much as we look into something I'm a little bit surprised about. We just watched the hearing the other day, and a new document drops, just one, and it's a change of venue doc. And I think I don't know. I think it came. My opinion is it dropped a lot faster than I expected. What do you guys think?
No, I'm with you because she definitely was like, as you all know, change of venues in the works. We're just not ready yet. Blah blah, and then it's like, but you nailed it on the next day. I mean, okay.
And it was funny because Bill Taylor said, I really don't think we need this, Judge. There's only one place in the world that doesn't know about this, and
who was Bill Taylor?
Yeah, right. That's my thought. And it's almost if we didn't know any better, then again, this is YouTube. If we didn't know any better, I would say that she did it on purpose just to piss him off. Obviously, that's not the case, guys, but it sure as hell looks like it after that whole thing he said. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I'll say that much. Here, let me get this up. Because what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna look at it and then we're gonna talk about it because it makes me wonder something. Is there a reason for it? Is there a reason why she dropped it so soon? Is there a reason why this came out just days after, literally, just a couple days after this this hearing, after the talk that everybody had about the this and that and everything else, and it made me wonder, like, what she got going on? You know, I always think about, as much as I'm displeased with the way that she's covered this, I always wonder if there's a reason why she's doing this when she does this. It's like some form of a strategy she's got going on. So I don't know, folks. Give me a second to find the damn thing, and we will get going. There it is. All right, there we go. Hold on. Let me get this up here for you guys real quick here. Let me move it over here, actually. Oh, that's bad. That's not good. All right, move this here. Okay. And that too. Well, shoot. Where did it go? Where did you guys go? Hold on a minute, folks. I'm having all sorts of problems with this stupid monitor not working tonight. You guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
What the hell did I just do? Oh, good Lord have mercy. Pray for me, folks. That's all I can say. 1 second.
You're good. She's trying to find. She's trying to find which of the 87,000 windows she's got open. This this thing is on.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm doing too. And now I just trying to figure out where the hell I left you guys at when I pulled the document, because I've only got the one monitor I'm working with. So, oh Lord, here we go. Is that it?
What in the heck?
It's confusing, isn't it?
I mean, it's normally not, but.
I'm rubbing off on you. That's all. It's got to be something like that. All right, where are we at now? Where the hell is it? Hold on, guys.
I
don't even know what I just did.
I don't know what she's done.
This is crazy.
Completely lost it. Lost the window where.
That's what I just did. The same thing I did.
This isn't it either.
Where did it go? All right, that goes over here. That can stay there. No, this is the other. What in God's name did I do? I see. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. What in the shit? You can't leave me alone for 3 seconds, folks. There. Hey, I found it. Oh my God.
Well, that's one of us. Good night.
What did I do? Hold on a minute. Let me move this. Cancel that. Bring this over here. This thing's giving me a headache. Good Lord. Did you find it?
Not yet. She ain't.
Damn. I thought I was bad.
She's got like 6 different sessions of Google Chrome, and each one of them's got at least 20 tabs open.
I got you. I must be. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, there's that. Let's see what happens when I do this. Okay. Bang, bang.
I mean, is it even?
Take your time. Take your time. Don't mind us tonight, folks. We're just out of it a little bit. That's all. I'm having technical issues. That's my problem, and I think I'm just rubbing off on poor Clue. That's all. It happens.
I don't understand. We've literally looked through every single tab she's got open.
I went through the same exact thing. It was weird. Now, where the hell did my cursor go? There we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Click here.
This?
No, the other one. There you go.
Oh.
There he is.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
This is all screwed up. I don't know what. I got 15 different tabs going different directions. I need to wear sunglasses. That ain't no lie. Oof. All right. Now. Okay. So. Damn it.
Here we go.
Here we go. I can't see the chat right now, so if anybody has any issues, just let me know. So we have, again, motion for change of venue, okay? Comes now, Bryan C. Kohberger, by and through his attorneys, and hereby moves this court for a change of venue. By this motion, Bryan requests a jury pool from outside Latah County. This motion is made pursuant to the 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Articles 1, 1, 6, 7, 13, and 18 of the Idaho State Constitution, ICR Rules 21 and IC 19801. A fair and impartial jury cannot be found in Latah County. In Latah County, owing to the extensive inflammatory pretrial publicity allegations made about Mr. Kohberger to the public by media that will be inadmissible at his trial. The small size of the community, the salacious nature of the alleged crimes, and the severity of the charges Mr. Kohberger faces. Enlarging the jury pool will not do anything to overcome that pervasive, prejudicial publicity because Latah County does not have a large enough population center to avoid the bias in the community. Further, the size of the community and the interconnectedness of its citizenry is problematic and will prevent a fair and impartial pool of potential jurors. Mr. Kohberger, by and through his counsel, requests an opportunity to be heard through evidentiary presentation and argument no sooner than the end of April of 2024. What?
That's weird to me.
Oh, that changed. So they're well, guys, this is a motion, okay? This is a motion, and in this motion, they're asking to get out of Latah County and go somewhere else. And at the same time, Mr. Kohberger, by and through his counsel, requests an opportunity to be heard through evidentiary presentation and argument no sooner than the end of April of 2024. Interesting. That's a whole different pot of potatoes, folks. I did not expect to see that. The rest of this, I get it with the venue change, but that was new to me. Makes me wonder. So he wishes Jay Logston had to write this. That's all.
I was going to say that is a.
Yeah, he had to have written this.
Yeah, there's a lot of unnecessary syllables in this piece of paper, I feel like.
Right.
So,
I love Jay Logston.
I do too. I'm surprised we didn't see something about a venue change from 1812 or something back in the day. I really am shocked about that. But hey, but I mean, guys, interconnectedness of its citizenry and problematic. What the hell, Jay? It's signed by Ann Taylor, but I can promise you Jay wrote this anyway. the part here at the bottom is what really got me interested. Mr. Kohberger, by and through his counsel, requested an opportunity to be heard through evidentiary presentation and argument no sooner than the end of April 2024. That's 3 months away, folks. So, I mean, I don't know what is coming down the pike next, but I have an expectation that something's coming. I could be wrong.
I don't know why April of 2024 for this hearing like that. I mean, I don't guess it really matters because they're not going to have the trial till 2025. So, I mean, but I don't know. It's just weird. That's weird to me.
I do agree with you, sir. Highly, very much so. Very strange, very strange, very strange. So,
what is an evidentiary presentation?
Yeah, I was
for
trying
a
to look
change
that
of
up.
venue? Like
that's what I was getting ready to ask. What do we got?
All it says is something about like the defense presenting evidence. It's so it's like in some civil cases, the standard, but that's civil.
Evidentiary hearing. So is it like a preliminary?
Here we go. Evidentiary standards in criminal cases. The beyond a reasonable doubt standard is the highest standard of proof that may be imposed
that's just
upon.
About the standard.
But I mean,
I don't know because
it's pretty much all the I think it's talking about is them presenting their evidence. Like,
okay, so Firefly says about all of the inflammatory media coverage, so that makes some sense. Yeah, because if we go backwards here, hold on a minute. Oh shoot, I took it. Okay. Do you have this clue?
What?
The document?
Yeah.
Can you pull it up and work it? Because I can't keep messing with this monitor. It's killing me.
I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She's got to figure out which window it's in.
Phantasmic Ether. Welcome to the show, my dear. Thank you for joining us tonight. There we go.
She's trying to find it.
Okay. Who is that guy?
So tiny.
Your monitor's got what? Anal bifida?
It's got something wrong with it. I don't know.
Wait, that's the wrong thing. Okay.
Well, at least everything's running smooth tonight.
Isn't it though? It sure hell is.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, there you go.
People complain about a new world order coming. I think we need it.
Oh, it is. What the heck?
Go to window.
I don't want to do the window.
Huh?
Isn't that weird? She's not asking for more discovery. She's asking for a change of venue.
I do agree, sir. That is very strange.
Yeah.
What
playground should we play in?
Hold on a minute, guys. Let me pull this up over here now.
Now she's got it.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Okay, there we go. You got it now?
Yeah, you just gotta.
Boom. I've got to answer that. That's me when I color my hair and wear my product.
What are we talking about?
I'm gonna ask whose picture's that? It's my picture. It's just when I take, when I want to look fucking younger and fucking have hair color.
Oh my god.
Hi, Sarge. Welcome.
Hey, that's there, Dago. The monitor stuff I mentioned to you didn't help you, did it?
No, of course not. Cletus, we decided we think it's the cord. So thank you, Eagle. I appreciate you very much. And I got a cord coming. It'll be here tomorrow, and hopefully that changes it because this is driving me insane.
I don't think a court would do that. A court would either work or it wouldn't. It's either a driver or a video card issue, but you'll see. Me and Cletus got a bet on it anyway. He'll lose.
I don't remember that bet, but
he made it in his sleep.
Oh, he
filed it with the commission.
He gave himself permission to bet me without my consent. Is that what happened?
Will be in touch with you.
All right, so this was filed yesterday. So, Lisa Lily Blue, welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's see here. I think like what Firefly had mentioned too. It said go down a little bit more, Clue, just a little bit more. All right, right there. They really get going on this. Jury cannot be found in Latah County owing to me extensive inflammatory pretrial publicity allegations made about Mr. Kohberger to the public by media that will be inadmissible at his trial. The small size of the community, the salacious nature of, I'm telling you, Jay wrote he had to write. I am telling you, he wrote this, period. There's no two ways about it. Salacious nature of the alleged crimes, the severity of charges Mr. Kohberger faces, enlarging the jury pool will not do anything to overcome that pervasive prejudicial publicity because, say that 3 times, folks.
What is this
publicity?
What is this lady on? Dago, identify salacious.
You what? Salacious. All right.
What does it mean?
Salacious is slanderous, basically, and they're dirty, like dirty things.
Okay, hold on. You go, Dago.
Salacious, slanderous.
You're wrong, both of you. Salacious.
It has to do with being sexual stuff,
right? Having or conveying undue or inappropriate interest in sexual matters.
Stalking.
Wow.
Stalking.
Okay. Well,
they said it was a crime of passion, and then they said that then the news media was saying he stalked them. Yeah. Then when the 12 car trips came out, they said, "See, that proves it."
Well, that's the salacious nature of the alleged crimes. They're not talking about the community right there.
That's what
No, they're talking about what the news media was pointing out. But no,
well, and they did. If you remember right, some of the news put out.
Yeah, he's an incel, blah blah. But I mean,
thank you very much for that, War Eagle. I appreciate that. Tabby Cat, good to see you. Guys, we got 293 people, and we got 95 likes on this side. I don't know what Clue's got on her side, but we can make that happen, guys. Let's make a match.
Clue, do you think that this should have came out now, or they should have started pushing for more discovery?
I don't feel like it's not the route I would have taken, because you're like, this judge obviously ain't trying to help you.
He ain't trying to help Bryan.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I would have put my size whatever foot in his rear end and made him start drawing deadlines.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
No, I agree with you. I'm on that team.
Like you got a new member of the Clue crew.
Texas Gigi, welcome to the Clue crew.
Hey, there you go. Congrats, Texas.
I just don't think I quite understand what this document is really getting.
This is the the most salacious document I've seen yet. I'm just saying, like, I know Jay writes.
I'll tell you what the most salacious thing is that I've heard before I joined the panel.
Oh God.
Be nice and clean, sir.
Well, you're the one that said it.
I'm reading what it says in the document.
You said you were rubbing it off on Clue.
This says, who just said that? CL said that this should have been filed long ago, a year ago. If that's what they wanted. Well, here's the thing, though. They're trying to say that this hearing is they don't want this any sooner than the end of April 24th for this.
Yeah. So, like, give us what? 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3. I can't believe I had to use my fingers for that BS, but it is what it is.
How'd it work out for you?
Great. Give us 3 months and then we'll be ready to present evidence. You don't even have all the evidence.
Well, again, on that particular topic is what she means by present evidence. So she'll put together all the media statements that were made and how the jury would be prejudicial because of these statements. That's why she's in no hurry for it. I mean, I don't know why there aren't motions for fucking the discovery. That's just shocking to me.
Well, we don't know that there won't be. This is Wednesday. We got 2 more days this week.
Right, but what was her most pressing issue at that hearing the other day?
Thank you, Brandy. It wasn't this.
Does she have one?
Right.
Well, yes. The fact is that she didn't have the time to get this stuff together to have a trial soon. And now we're talking. I mean, I would have imagined that would have been like Chart said, that the discovery would have been an issue. Like, give me everything we need, not change the venue right now.
LA, that happened to me, but not quite in the way you're describing it. How about if they asked for a change of venue to the case where Emma Bailey and that other dude got just let go? That'd be the county I want to try my case in.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what county was that?
It was in Washington. Was it Lewiston?
I don't know where it is. I'm just being stupid, but geez.
Firefly
I mean,
says they'll have something to prepare for in the next few months. God knows that they won't get more discovery in that time. I can agree with that one, Firefly.
Like, I think it's such crap. I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, I don't know. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around how you write a PCA and put all this detailed info in there about the cameras and all this stuff, but you don't have everything that you used like handy and readily available to hand over to the defense. It's almost like you guys are having to go back and create documents that support your story.
I'm also concerned that you're waiting for the prosecution to collate video and sound. Just send it to me the way you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
Eddie just said that the most pressing issue of the hearing is that she does not have all the discovery because the prosecution's still waiting. Right. So,
yeah, and how are you doing that? Like, I don't know. If I were Kohberger, like, I would be freaking furious. Like, the moment I heard that you guys are trying to match up audio and visual. Well, here's the problem, bud. How did you get actual correct evidence off of a video that doesn't already have audio and video matched up in the first place?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'd want to have my team. But look, I wonder if, in fact, that Kohberger is playing the, use the state's people to get the state's evidence and then switch to a law firm once she gets all of this nightmare bullshit stuff out of the way.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. That's a good point.
And she may be punishing him by dragging her feet and playing kiss with Mr. Santa Crack.
Well, I will say this other channel I watched had an opinion on it, and they were saying something like she's making, I don't want to quote him wrong, 800 a day or 8,000 a week or something. And, he had a good point. He was like, she's going to stretch this thing out as far as it'll go. It'll be like a rubber band. Wouldn't you? Yeah. I mean, you're getting paid. Like, the minute the trial's over, guess what?
I don't know. I mean,
you go back to having roots.
Yeah.
In your hair is what I mean.
I get it. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the case with this. Something seems, hold on, folks.
8,000 a week. Yeah, I guess it's something, but.
Well, they gave him $1 million. It's got to be going somewhere. It's obviously not going into
that was for the
evidence collection.
That's also used mainly for the prosecution to put their case together.
Well, why? Where's the money going?
I don't know, man. We never know. It's government. Where do you mean? Where does the money go? Who knows?
I'm just saying, y'all aren't getting your reports. You're not getting your your stuff together. Where's the money going?
That's a great question. It is. Literally.
She's a public defender. How do we come to the idea she's making $8,000 a week?
Well, that's what Doc just said. She's on a salary, so
that's what that other person said too. So I mean,
somebody said months ago that the salary that she was given because of this case went through the roof. So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, there's no way to know what she's being paid. And I just think that if I had the dithers, I would play the game and let the state pay for all this discovery through their state paid attorney, and then have a law firm come in behind them. Instead of paying $1,000 an hour or whatever for a law firm to do all this arguing with Bill Taylor.
Better off dead. Every video I start, as I always started off, I say, maybe I didn't this time. Let me do it real quick. Everything we talk about in here in this channel is purely alleged and 100% speculation. And sir, if you're, or ma'am, if you're not comfortable with it, then don't be here. Okay. Thank you. Moving on. I'm just over rude people. I don't get it. Anyway.
I tried reading this motion in a mirror, and it didn't work.
I'm trying to tell y'all right now. I hope you two, Dago and Sarge, I'm never this nice to you, but I hope you're having a wonderful evening.
Oh my God, it was only enhanced when I heard your voice.
I'm telling you, this chair is changing things, y'all. I might become a nice YouTuber.
Listen, I was going to buy a grill that was narrower than your chair. Just saying.
Hey, you know what? It never hurts to have a few extra inches. Okay, calm
down. Look it. Okay, now.
Dago's taking
Caroline Miller.
Shoot, I did $750,000 worth of work. I'm not right. Oh well.
I mean, there's nothing we can do but just look at it.
That's it. Would you look at it? Would you just look at that? Look at it.
Just look at it. Remember that guy with the cars? He goes around the car shows and does that to people. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at this? Just look at that. Just look at that.
He walks the guy around his own car.
I think it's. Hold on a minute here.
But yeah, I think it's a motion that needed to be filed. But I honestly think that the discovery motions and pushing for relevant information, so that you and the lawyers that work with you, Ann, can understand how they got to your client, would be the most important requests. Not something 3 months from now.
That's a good point, sir. Very good point. Missy RN says that's more than $380,000 a year. Zoink, Scoob. Ed Bass.
I mean, for a lawyer, though, like that's, you know what I mean? That's up there in my opinion, but
Scott Green makes
honest to God, it doesn't matter.
That's true. That is true. Scott Green brings home more than that. So
I don't want to begrudge anybody an income commensurate with the skill level and effort they put in.
That's a good point.
No, I agree.
That's a good point. Golf just said that Ann might be working one thing and Jay might be working on the motion. We do not know. That's true. Right. That makes sense. That's a good point, Golf. Thank you.
But she needs a team of paralegals.
Yeah.
Literally, she needs a team of people that can dig and go through these documents and set the ones aside that are relevant, right? Consistent with what they're going to take to trial. I mean, they give this guy 51 terabytes of data. That could be, every interview of 150, 200 suspects and driving around. You have no idea. This isn't 51 terabytes of evidence to prove this guy did something. This is just their entire case is dumped in their lap. It just seems unprofessional, and it's not put in order. I don't understand how these little yahoos do it. How could it not be in order? That's the other thing. I don't understand how it cannot be in order.
I agree with Swirefly. She knows darn well the IGG led them to BK. If the state isn't using IGG at trial, then how will they explain how they got to him? Like, I completely agree with that. I think that's why they threw in that BS about the WSU officers calling in, but I don't know.
I agree. And they're trying to hide it. Right? They're trying to keep that like under wraps.
Yeah, because the funny part about that is Don Daniels, right, from WSU, that the whatever cop there, I will say it was really interesting that in her search warrant, she says something about should the DNA become inadmissible, I don't want this warrant issued on the side of the DNA.
Right. Exactly. The arrest warrant itself. If you can approve it without the use of the DNA. because they were concerned it could be found inadmissible down the road at a court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if another supplemental request for discovery that is necessary, then I'm confident Ann will file it at the right time. Well, we'll see.
Well, no time like the present. She was complaining about it in court the other day. I mean, what's a better time than now?
Well, and a supplemental request isn't really, at the end of the day, going to do anything except give them more opportunity to provide more. They need to file a deadline for discovery and just get on.
That's what that's where he's failed as a judge, in my opinion. He needed to put his foot down a long time ago and say, listen, this needs to be here by this time, that time, and that time, and there's no excuses, and if not, you're going to be held in contempt. End of story. That's what he needs to do, and he won't do it.
Yeah,
So
well, no, hold on. He will do it, but only for the prosecution, because you see how that went down when they were talking about that alibi.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes you look at him and go, what do you, wow, okay, that sounded
But his alibi.
God bless you.
That was not me. I was just kidding.
It just makes you wonder, what are you doing?
Well, you could have heard the fart, but that didn't come through the mic, so thank God, right?
It does make you wonder who's in charge of this thing, right?
100%.
It really, like that hearing the other day, I know they had one before that, right? That was sealed and in private and all that, but just, I just could not imagine being one of the parents of one of these victims and seeing the judge, the public defender, and the prosecutor all standing in the front of this room like they're trying to figure out who's on first.
Right.
And like it was amazing to me. And now we get this, and I'm still trying to decipher exactly what they're using as bearing the media and what the media has done as what merit that has to do with the change in venue. Because if anything, the media would almost make your argument would be that it's impossible for him to get a fair trial anywhere. Bill Thompson even said so. So it's like,
yeah, I disagree with Bill Thompson.
Well, and I mean, I'm not really arguing with you on that, but that is kind of what he implied. And then they're attacking the media and what the media did.
I'd be kind of curious to see if how often John Judge and Scott Green play golf together.
The other thing, there's a bunch of things the media did that I think maybe we don't give any credit to. The idea that he stole his sister's phone, we don't know if that's true or not. The petri dish of a car, the stalking, how the 12 cell cast information proves he's a stalker.
But even though
they turned him into an incel, a guy
even though what does stealing a damn cell phone have to do with unaliving?
No, but what it's got to do is you're demeaning the guy. You're discrediting the individual that's charged with the crime, and you're doing it.
Yeah, right? I agree. That's the smear campaign they've been running since he was arrested. Period.
Well, let me ask you guys something. Let me tell you what makes me feel like they are still building a case against Bryan, and it is literally what is the interest you all have in looking up the TikTok of Ethan, Dylan, and Bethany in July of 23. And for Dylan and Bethany, you don't just say like to November 14th. It's to now. It's to the present time.
I agree with golf, by the way.
Yes, I do. I was getting ready to say that. The fact is the locals pay more attention to media coverage in their own area, so it has a stronger influence.
So that delay in requests.
Is neither one of them smart enough to answer my question? They just breezed right over that, didn't they? I was just going to
say that delay in the request for information on the other victims is a very curious delay. In as much as it was 23 July, it was 8 months after the crime.
I'll just show you.
Is it a second request, or is it a corrected request? Is it the only request?
I'm sorry.
So one of them was right. One of them they had to request again because they screwed up when they requested the first one, and that was the Instagram of Kaylee, Maddie, and Zana, which is crazy because you obviously saw there was no connection to him. There couldn't be a connection to a wrong damn screen name.
True.
Like, you can't connect him to them through TikTok or Instagram when you didn't even have their name. You're not even looking at the right person.
Right. Yeah, that throws into question Ann Taylor's statement as well when it comes to there's no connection between Kohberger and the victims, electronic or otherwise.
Hold
right?
on.
Unless she's going off of Kohberger's data. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
His data could show no connection to any of them when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, or what have you.
Yeah, because they requested his.
Right.
Here, Dago, this is what I'm talking about. On July 24th, I obtained a search warrant for TikTok, right? Hello?
Yes, we're listening. Yep, I'm going along. We're listening to you.
I was waiting on Dago to say he was listening.
I am. I'm sorry. My son.
See that?
Go ahead.
July 24th, 23, I obtained a search warrant for TikTok. Where it gets interesting is down here, right? So you've got 1 phone number, 2 phone number, 3 phone numbers, okay? But if you keep going, it tells you Ethan Chapin's TikTok. And it's from June 1st, 22 to November 14th, 22.
Right.
Then we come to Dylan and Bethany, and they're the same. It goes June 1st, 22 to now. So they want it from June 1st, 22 to July 24th or 23rd, 23.
Right.
Yeah, the new one has, I have a few questions on the newest documents. It's obviously not new warrant, but it's very interesting and somewhat suspicious to me. I'll say that.
Well, they went back to the same June date with these cast and with requests into Kohberger. So
well, that's just because that's when they moved.
That's when he showed up. Isn't that when he showed up in that area though?
Yeah. June. I'll be right back, guys. I got to step away for a second. Keep going.
So that date makes perfect sense.
But right. That's not the weird part to me. The weird part is this. It's with Dylan and Bethany, right? Because you're going from June, but you're asking through all the way to July 23rd, 2023.
June 1st to present, which is
July 23rd, 2023.
Which would be the date that was sent in. Yeah,
right.
Which it shouldn't be a surprise. There are 2 survivors. They've got to be investigated to some extent. There's no way you can't. You got to be dead in the head not to request and seek and look into these 2 individuals in a way they're not telling the public. Just because they were in the house, they're in that circle, they're familiar with the people, and they were there when it was found. Just on that alone, you have to really dig into these people. Their words have to be provable. For instance, to be eliminated as a suspect, you have to prove your innocence. To be convicted at trial, the prosecution has to prove your guilt. You don't have to prove your innocence, right? It's 2 different standards. So, whatever the data digging results in, we won't know for a long time, but it makes sense why they're digging that far. They may even ask for a supplemental request from that date, 23rd of July, forward to, before the trial for the next, I don't know, from that day forward until the day of the trial, and review their interactions on the internet. What if Ether and Hunton were switched? Where does that come from?
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to visit the little boy's room. Are you guys here?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So, wait a minute. What's that down here? Oh, I'm sorry, Colleen. Well, welcome here, Miss Lily. Good to see you. Question is why is it that Hunter, the best friend that supposedly found Ethan, which we are assumed that Dylan called for, hasn't been called as a witness? Well, we don't know that he hasn't been, Lily. That's the thing.
And he would get protection as well.
100%.
Witnesses would be protected from disclosure.
Yeah.
Because
What
you don't
would
want
that mean?
you don't want him to get stabbed in the heart with a pencil.
What would that mean if BF has immunity and she says and say she knows something? Well, yeah, it means exactly what you just said. That I don't see that happening though. That's the thing. That's I don't know. That's just I don't know. Dago, you keep throwing me off topic. I'm curious to know when the court will receive a new property and building that is away from the school. What? Well, I'm sorry that I'm throwing you off topic, but I have no idea. Why? Does anybody have any idea when the court may receive a new property and building that's away from the school, college, and events? I don't.
I thought it was to be built in 2025. I think that's what they're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a new courthouse and things in that area. I think.
Well, they're not going to wait for that, though, are they?
I don't know.
They should have done that a long time ago.
They're waiting on whatever fairy dust or something. Who knows?
And I'm sorry that I threw you off topic, Brutal. I didn't know that. My apologies. Let's see here.
They want IP addresses from where their TikToks and all the other stuff was made from. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ford's.
Well, yeah, I think it's because the they need time to gather everything, in my opinion. That's my thought. Welcome, El Detective Dylan. Dylan is guilty of something. A lot of people think so, Dave. What's up, Becky? Thank you.
Oh yeah, with learning the position of Kaylee, 100%. Like that girl was banging on the wall. Like she got up into the corner of the bed. Like
there was noise. There was a lot of noise. And anybody says that there wasn't, you're out of your mind. I'm sorry.
You sleep in the room underneath and you heard.
Yeah, like especially it was more than somebody playing with a dog. How about that? Is what I feel like.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. Like, I've always been suspicious of that because why wouldn't you just let's say that Dylan's statement's true. Why don't you tell it what it is? Don't. There's no way that is what she said it was. That's why I've always had a problem with it. So, I think you got a super sticker there, Miss.
I did. I'm trying to.
There's a little dance.
But
there you go.
Give us that pleasant voice you don't use when we're around.
You know what?
Thank you for doing that for the.
Thank you, April.
Yes, Miss April. That's awesome. I played the little dance for it. There you go. My assumption is they need time to get it all together. That's my thought too. Joanne, why not investigate them in the beginning? Good question.
Could also be just as simple as motion to write, and they just put it out there to get it out there. You know,
I mean,
one less thing to do.
But
they don't forget now.
Did you not catch it though? How she stated that it was not an impending issue. It was not something that was going to be done soon. Yeah. And then here it comes right out the door. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I know there's contradictions everywhere you turn with what they're doing, what the lawyers are doing, how they arrested them, what they put in their paperwork, what they used in the warrant. It's insanity.
It's a mess. It's a huge mess. I agree.
I don't remember her saying it wouldn't be done anytime soon. I just remember her saying that it wasn't quite ready yet.
Well, no, the change of venue, she said, I swear she said that, not anytime soon.
I'll have to go back and listen. I just thought she said, as the court and counsel is aware, we do plan on filing a change of venue, but that document's not ready yet or something. Like it was just.
Yep.
How do they know that ahead of time? You know what I mean? Like.
That's a good point. And no problem, Texas. Welcome to the club. Appreciate having you here. She said she wasn't ready to argue it yet. Okay.
Firefly said, I thought she said it was coming soon. Well, she meant that, didn't she?
Okay, maybe I just misheard it then. But thank you, Firefly. My apologies. I'll have to go back and listen to it and then prove to myself. I hear things sometimes, and sometimes
It's a real.
remember when SG said he touched the Wi-Fi. They would know who was on that router log. Also, remember the G's could be called as witnesses. True.
But he touched the Wi-Fi with what?
I thought that was.
What is he talking about?
Wasn't
That's
that
a rumor? That's a rumor.
I mean, I do agree. Like, it is a rumor. He did say it, but it's kind of like, you must be talking about the 12 times he came over there, because he can't touch the Wi-Fi with his phone off.
Mm-hmm.
The night of, you know what I mean?
Right. That's why it's a rumor, and it's a silly rumor at best.
Right. I agree. Well, thank you for being here, Lisa. I appreciate that, and I'm sorry that annoyed you in the past, but
and you're not gonna listen. You would have to be very close to that house to be hitting that router.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with that.
He had a place to park. If this is accurate, if what they're saying is true, and it isn't, he'd have to have the balm of a place to park that car or to approach that house without being noticed.
If he was parked on that hill in the back, I mean, that would be close enough, I would think, right?
Nah, routers are tough, man. You're going to hit one closest to you. So even if you're in the parking lot next door, how come you're not hitting the router of the people in those apartments?
Right.
Well,
I mean, what I'm saying is, it's first of all, the whole concept of that's a rumor. But when you look at the houses around there, the apartments around there, and the proximity, where are you going to stand where you're only going to you're going to hit the King Road router?
That'd be interesting if he did ping off of somebody's router in the apartments. If they would bring something like that.
Well, they're not subpoenaing other people's routers.
No, not that we know of it. Right?
It's just crazy. Some of these rumors are just out there, man. And again, if he could ping their router on those 12 other drives, then why on the night of the crime did he drive around like like he was lost?
Right.
I mean, nothing makes sense when you try to place Kohberger based on the data they gave us. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and I'm trying to tell y'all right now, something about this car that bothers me. And I don't want to start Sarge.
Don't start. I won't say a word. Promise.
Y'all heard that. I am not hearing crap. Okay. Y'all heard it. But I just cannot get over, if you drove yourself to this place 12 times, like, it's like if I'm going to the grocery store, I got the whole route planned out. I know where this is, that is, how to not impulse buy sometimes and get out of there, right? Because I've been to the grocery store at least 12 times. If you've been to this neighborhood 12 times, why do you have to do ballet and acrobatics outside before you find where you plan to park and all of that? It makes no sense. I get it if you're looking for a light to go off, but the smarter thing to do would just to be put your ass in a parking spot and wait for the light.
Just drive up and down Taylor Road.
I still think it would be smarter to just
look across. You can't miss that window on the third floor on the left.
You can't see the back of the house. If he would have just pulled in and went to the back of the house and sat there, it's so dark back there. Can't nobody see you.
I agree. He could have laid down in his car and nobody would have noticed him. At that time of the morning, there's no way you would. People walk around looking in cars.
Right. So why wouldn't you just park, sit there, instead of drawing, like, you literally are drawing attention to yourself on this camera?
I think we're going to be educated at one point in time to believe that the perfect crime includes ignoramus behavior. Right? Mm-hmm. It's literally makes such little sense. It's so nonsensical. And here's the other thing. What if we're relying on that Linda Lane video like it was given to us from the authorities, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just keep that in mind. But the statements, taking the video out, the statements in the PCA of the because that does mimic what they say in the PCA, right? The traveling of that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not consistent with somebody's goal of committing murder on that night, and more consistent with a DoorDash driver, an Uber driver, someone looking to come pick somebody up, somebody looking to come score some dope. It fits all of that. How does that? But it doesn't fit the crime. You're going to do all of that. You're going to do all that stalking and drive around like some lost. I don't even know.
Thank you, Brandy. Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I do agree, and that's why the one thing about the alibi that made me think, okay, the dude was just out driving. It wasn't. it wasn't the thing.
The minute they released that information on his 12 previous trips, I said, well, they just gave Bryan Kohberger his alibi. As a matter of fact, Ann Taylor said as much, that his alibi is going to be established by a questioning of the officers and the witnesses that are going to be presented by the prosecution.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the minute I saw that, I said, not only are they accusing the guy of stalking, but they're also giving the guy an alibi. And everything they did that way.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's maybe we should smoke crack so we can understand what they're talking about.
Do you realize? I mean, I know you guys realize. You're stating it left and right here. The deeper we get into this case, the longer it goes on, and the less we know, the crazier it's getting. Does that make sense?
Right. And the more and more people are getting around this case that are just really making people that are concerned and really looking for the truth, making them look like a bunch of idiots in an ancillary way.
Now this right here, War Eagle said, it sounds like Ann may be planning to add to his alibi defense, possibly with some witnesses. I'm telling you, I've thought that for a long time, that she's just holding back to the right time. And if she comes out with, she can, if they're surprise witnesses, that
no, you can't. You can't do that. Dago, you can't do that.
Listen, I'm not saying trial by ambush type thing. I'm saying that she may be looking for witnesses at this point, and then when she finds them, poof, like throwing them out there. You know what I mean?
That's possible, but she can't be holding anything back because that's.
No, I know that. Yeah, I know that. But I'm wondering if she's like been looking and looking and looking, and is trying to find somebody to come in and say, hey, by the way, I seen Bryan at this place or this gas station, or you know what I mean, something like that. I'm just really thinking that's right, part of what you've been doing.
Maybe she's waiting on bank information from his debit card purchases that night. He made a debit card purchase. He bought a I don't know, whatever Clue's favorite snack is at some place around there. Who knows?
That's gotta be neat.
I don't know.
I would have imagined that would have came already, though. You know what I mean, Sarge?
No, I can see you delaying on that because you're so you could say, look, I had all of this stuff. We had so much going on, investigators, blah, blah. We just found it. Like if they came out with it next week, that would be okay. But it would have to be pretty far before trial that she comes out with information like that. So in other words, she couldn't sit on that and then drop that at trial or drop it. Well, look what we found. That would be a bit ridiculous. The judge would be, I don't even know. He'd be snapping. He'd be flipping out.
Well, all I can say is this: like, if he really did this, y'all need to let him out. Y'all need to let him out on like didn't they do that back in history? Some like killers would help train people to catch killers. Mm-hmm. That's what that man need to be doing, because I don't know how in the actual world you go in there, do what you did, and it's not a drop of nothing, not no hair, no, like.
What's the only way to explain that you would think is reasonable?
Because his ass wasn't there.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I kept saying before when I asked the question. If the police had done an investigation as they were supposed to and produced that same result, would they have actually filed an arrest on this guy?
So, like in the blood evidence, the blood evidence don't even bother me near as much as if fiance brushes my hair, right? Literally. Yeah, I've not brushed my hair in like 5 years. It's crazy. But if he brushes my hair, there's legitimately at least 10 hairs that probably come out when it's naughty.
Yeah.
This is a house full, and I mean full, 6 girls.
Damn. What you
There
running
would
over
be
there,
hair
Cletus?
flying all over the place. Not here, ding dong. I mean, that house.
No.
Like, and you're fighting. They're laying in bed. You know what I mean? Like the pillow tears your hair out. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, stuff is flying around, arms, legs, whatever. And you don't walk out with a single hair, bro.
Well, and if you do,
that's never made any sense to me ever.
If you do end up walking out with one, you're so thorough at cleaning your apartment and your car that they don't ever find them.
Right.
Yeah.
The shower, the drain in the shower, there's nothing there. There's not one speck.
Sure there is. There's the DNA of the occupants of the home, which nobody's considered as involved in the crime, as Jennifer referred to.
I'm talking about you know what I mean? So there's not one speck of any form of DNA, hair, saliva, of anything that belongs to these victims in that car, in the home that he lives in his office he works in, or in his parents' home. How is that possible, folks? That's the one thing I've never been able to let go of. How? Like, nobody's that good. Nobody. Okay? And I don't care.
I probably would be, but
there's things that we don't see. There's things that we just can't see. Okay? And there's things that CSI workers do see. They look for those things. Welcome, JC. Good to see you. And Martin.
Right, they've got the tools. That's my other beef with this microscopic information you're going to use to convict the guy. But you went in there hell bent for leather, dropping microscopic particles all over that house as you were looking for microscopic particles to use against somebody.
We don't know. We don't know what, Leon. That there's no DNA from them on anything he owns.
That is true. Well, that is true. We're only going on what the defense attorney says, and she ain't gonna walk up in there and be like, "Well, you know."
I think she would avoid the subject altogether, as opposed to put just blatantly false statement in a court document.
Jay Lawson did that.
I know.
Can they do that? Can they put something like that in the documents if it's not true?
I wouldn't think so, because it's like. Those are supposed to be like sworn statements, right? At the bottom.
Well, and it could
they say whatever my name, everything's true, blah blah, whatever.
And it could be their interpretation, but I don't know how if there were traces of any DNA in his vehicle that linked him to the crime scene. I don't know how a reasonable person could write a document and say their opinion, and it be that there's no link between him and the crime scene. So I'm kind of thinking that it doesn't exist, or at least at that time they didn't know of it.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned something said by another creator about these two being in the shower, and there's never been any statement or any evidence to suggest they were in the shower. The best we got was from the coroner.
What two?
And even her information wasn't accurate.
What two?
Ethan and Xana.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what they said that this particular creator claims. I said bring the creator's proof or don't bring it up.
That would have been put in the PCA if they would have found them in the shower.
Yeah, but don't even bring that. Don't even say that out loud. That need not even be said, because there's nothing to sustain that argument.
That's part of what's going on.
Right.
That's I don't know if you guys saw. I know most of you saw Cluminati's video earlier today, guys. I mean, it's real. It's real.
Oh yeah, this has got to stop. This is crazy. Y'all, I ain't never heard of such. Like, y'all are out there filming a Rihanna music video for S&M, chains and manhole covers, and oh my gosh. Like,
what was the guy organizing that? What was that new term we learned today?
A kryptonic supervisor. What? I don't even know. What the heck? Celsius. What the heck was that thing called, y'all?
I don't even know.
Something that has nothing to do with this.
Central scrutinizer. Like, hold on. First off, that's too many syllables to be describing the head person in charge. Okay, so just drop all that. Just say the ringleader, the boss.
There you go.
Central scrutinizer, like
on the radio.
Spell it. That's what I want that lady to do. I want you, that woman that was talking, I want you to spell that second word. Good luck to you. Like, talking about draining their fluids in a manhole, like, bro.
Yeah, it's some of the, see, none of us are right and none of us are wrong when we put some of this data together and come to a conclusion. and our view of what we're seeing may differ. But typically, most of the people that are doing the streams for the truth they're pretty close on the same page on a lot of the issues, and they're not relying on things that would take 4,000 power magnifying lenses to see. Okay. And stories wrapped around stories and shadows and dark web and manhole covers to explain. I mean, even if these people, let's just say these people were right, how could you get a jury to see what these people are pointing out? It's just so out there that it is Clown Town. You just said Clown Town. You can't even describe it better than that. It is Clown Town. There's another creator. Listen, this isn't just there's another one telling you about tunnels that all turned out to be fake. I wouldn't even talk about the tunnels this whole time.
No,
right?
I tried to disprove that tunnel theory way before they tore that house down.
Yes,
I even went and got y'all a map of the effing city and where all the tunnels are.
Paratroopers coming in from silent, specialized Black Hawk helicopters. There's all kinds of stuff out here,
and
that has nothing to do with what we're looking at.
And listen, folks, mistakes happen sometimes. Sometimes information can be put out there at times, not on purpose, though. I think most of us creators have enough integrity to try to keep from that stuff being put out there, because nobody's going to solve this without understanding true facts that go with the case. So when you bring in people parachuting in under the balcony and the tunnels, and what the hell? I mean,
covered with blood, but none on the window or the siding or anywhere else, and it's only under a certain lighting condition from a certain angle. Yeah, it's gotten to the extraneous points of non-reality.
It's scary. It's very scary, and it's taking people in directions.
It's not scary to me. It's pure BS.
It's what I'm saying is scary. I'm sorry. I should reset. It's scary that people are taking this and running with it, and it's making it more difficult to put the truth out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the reason it just bothers me is because as a content creator,
Jennifer,
you're supposed to maybe just maintain a little bit of keep your head out of the clouds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then everybody gets mad when this, like I said in the video, there's a documentary coming out about the craziness that creators do. And
6 days.
They're still doing it. They're still doing it today.
Because it's worse now than when that particular documentary was started. I'm sure it is.
And
worse now than it was then.
I understand that people like the mystery and that they like the excitement to it. But guys, this is a real case. This isn't the Sci-Fi Channel. Okay. It's got to be kept in the realm of reality. I think I commented on your channel today. We got to keep things grounded in reality, folks. And that's a huge problem right now with this. I even had somebody come on my channel and brought some stupid, crazy bullshit out here that makes no sense.
That's the worst.
I got smacked for it, and I didn't blame that person for saying that to me. But it was bullshit. It's stupid. It makes no sense.
Right.
Then you gotta be the one that sits there and says, "Look, y'all, this is complete craziness." And I'm sorry, but I don't know what kind of bionic ears that lady has. I'm being right for real, because I didn't hear a darn thing of what she was saying.
No.
I mean, nothing. A drone, lady, it's a freaking car. You notice how every time you hear the drone approach, you hear a car leave?
Yes.
You put it together. It's simple math.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Well, let me just say, though, on our side of it, when they say that he turned off his phone, it's legitimate to ask, how do you know that? How do you know he turned off his phone?
How do you know it didn't die?
The only thing you can say for sure is it disconnected from the network. And so that is a non-nefarious act. It disconnected from the network. How do you then turn that into he turned off his phone?
So is the phone dying?
So all we're saying is people in these whatever you call what I'm on, we just want to understand how you determined that disconnecting from the network meant that he turned off his phone to hide his location to go commit a multiple murder. Where do you come to that conclusion? What evidence are you basing he turned off his phone? Those are actually honest questions to be asking. That's not conspiracy theory. That's
It's
not
funny.
rooting for Bryan Kohberger. That's not loving Bryan Kohberger. It's an honest question. How do you make that determination? Did somebody see him do this?
It's funny that you say that, because when Lana was up there, they were talking about the service was just terrible.
Right.
And
Well, we
the
don't know if she's
video
not
kept
using-
dropping. And
What
again,
kind of
we
plan
don't
is
know
she
what,
using?
right. We don't know what kind of phone she uses. It could be like a burner from Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nothing against the Walmarts or a burner phone, but it's just shows that, like, yeah, service there may not be 100%, but the simple fact is it went off for like a total of about 3 hours. It did the same thing the next day.
And here's something else I want to add. Somebody brought up another creator. He's a lawyer that was just recently on TV. Well, why didn't that gentleman try to take a different route that would put him out of area of that tower that would cause his phone to naturally disconnect from the network? Why doesn't anybody look for that? All these people driving around over there. Why?
Say that again.
Why isn't somebody that's driving around over there, all these YouTubers, especially these lawyers that get on national TV and talk like they know it all from beginning to end? Why isn't they didn't go seek out an area that you could actually lose cell phone coverage? And where is it in relation to that house?
Because they're trying to prove that Bryan did.
I know, I know what they're doing, but I'm just saying that to me is a kind of question that should be asked. I know what their motive is. They've got him convicted, but these things need to be answered. And you got all these people running around Moscow or whatever that town is, and nobody, not a one of these person thought to drive in an area that would be different, because there's no camera catching them for a long period of time. So drive instead of going into that town of Idaho. Turn away, go. You know what I mean? Go in a different direction. See where you do lose coverage. Did Kohberger go that way? Nobody would know but him.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, Clue, when you guys are out there, you guys, that's one of the drives you got to take.
When we're out where? Hello? When we're out where?
Were you guys planning?
Always trying to start some shit, Starge. Always.
You're trying to have me go to jail, honey, because I don't think I could survive in that place. I'm not built for that. I'm not built for that environment. I will go to jail.
Especially if they find out that you're a YouTuber, because they don't like us. So.
Oh, well, then now I want to go.
You would stand right there where that house stood and say, "Hell no," and they would hear you downtown Moscow.
That's probably true.
Yep.
That's funny, man. Somebody just gifted True Crime Calf with 5 memberships.
True Crime Calf.
Chad gifted
You know that's pronounced cafe.
Yeah, just like Hamburg. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Chad. I appreciate that. I cannot see who got them right now. That's awesome, brother. Appreciate you so very much for that. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You know, I will say this. So we were watching some stuff last night, and freaking Sarge, of course, is like, what if it turns out that they're right and we're wrong?
Well, and then I said earlier, thank you, Party of 5, so very much Chad again, and congrats, Party of 5. If they're right and we're wrong, then guess what we'll say? They were right and we were wrong, just like I said from the beginning. But when they show us that, that's when we'll say that. That's the thing.
I can tell you this. Look, here's the bottom line to it. When you those cameras, right? I don't care what kind of mode or filter or whatever anybody wants to put on the video or the audio, and how far they want to enhance it, how far they don't want to enhance it. There are limitations of those things.
Well, actually,
and reflections that you see and sounds and echoes that you hear on that camera, there is absolutely zero possibility that you're going to be able to locate exactly where that came from when you're watching a video recording and listening to the audio embedded in it. So at the end of the day, the point of even having discussions about this case would be to take what's being presented and say, yeah, this makes sense. No, this doesn't make sense. Hey, this needs to change. The U.S. doesn't need to handle things this way, because at the end of the day, nobody out there is going to solve this thing. They've got a guy arrested, if it's not him, I'm 100% convinced it will never be solved.
It won't.
Oh.
I
Well,
agree.
can I say this? So we were talking earlier. We have that same home security system.
Yeah.
And we're going to do some testing.
Okay.
Like one of us is going to go to the neighbors across. It's probably just about the same distance away. And she won't care. She'll help us holler. And we're going to yell and we're going to say stuff like, Jake, don't kill me. I was going to leave. All that stuff. We're going to do that. And we're just going to see, right? Like,
how hard you got to yell.
But
you're not surrounded by buildings. You're
Go ahead,
that makes a big difference when you're surrounded by other buildings, because sound reverberates and it bounces and it changes direction.
Well, I want to explain something here in a second as soon as you get through that part of it.
And I also wanted to say something. If you guys want to see reflections, I can promise you that through the experience and the horrific event in my life of being an addict, that I saw more cops coming towards my windows than you could ever dream of. And one day they really did come in through the window. But there's years of thinking I saw them in a reflection or in a shadow, and they were never there. Right? So that the thing is with shadows or reflections is it's going to show you what you're thinking, what you want, what you're thinking you're going to see. And that's the problem with stuff like that. It's going to show whatever you want it to show. You could see someone outside baking a pie if you wanted to in those reflections. You just have to be committed to look for that. And you'll find a shadow that you say, well, that might in fact be that.
Well,
the merit to the reflection would be if it were clear enough for you to make out and identify who is in a reflection if you suspect that person to be guilty.
Well, excuse me, just 1 second, folks. I got to do this before I lose it. Party of 5, the Borg, Tattletale, Strutter 614, and Nevada Cops. Congrats. Welcome to the sauce. And thank you again, Chad. He did that twice, I believe. So thank you very much again, my friend. I appreciate you. And then going on with what you guys are talking about, Rory physically went there, okay, and walked around that area. I was live with him when he did it, okay? The 2 apartments that are right next door to that home, okay? They're side by side, and then there's an alleyway right down the middle of them. It's like a giant wind tunnel, like a sound tunnel. And then all the way around that entire complex are buildings. So it's kind of like it's like a stadium almost. It's got almost stadium sound. Okay. So if you're standing anywhere near that camera that we've seen that stuff on Linda Lane, if you hear something as clear as I'm talking to you right now, there's no way in hell that it's coming from that house. If you hear that, it's not coming from that house. A dog barking, very possibly, but it's going to be super faint. And you have to understand that the sounds are going to be very faint. Now, I will say this. They can echo between those buildings in some sense if it's being put out the right way. Okay, but it's going to stay in that realm, but it's still going to be faint, folks. It's not going to be, you're not going to clearly hear these things like we're speaking right now. Thank you, Corey. Fishbowl is what I was looking for. Exactly what it's like. Okay. And that middle part between those 2 apartments, yes, sound will carry, but it's still going to be somewhat faint from the distance that had to travel. If somebody's standing outside on that hill behind that house screaming, you're going to hear that, but it's still it's not going to be like right in your face. Okay. And that's an issue I've had with Linda Lane the whole time. That's why I didn't really bother with it.
If you know that the victim owns a dog named Murphy and you hear a dog bark and then someone say something, you implant the name Murphy into that statement.
And we also know the woman that lives in that apartment complex that was walking her dog past the house and saw the door open has a dog. And I'm sure other people do as well. So,
but, oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Murphy, folks. It could be any dog.
But Sherlock, that statement, oh my God, is the closest most Americans get to actually praying, and it's taking place during sex. Okay.
Oh, Caroline CNO, thank you for gifting memberships.
Right.
And to all 5 of you, welcome to the Clue Crew.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've heard that before.
Oh my God.
Loudly. And it's done loudly. It isn't done quietly. It's not whispered.
P. Fox, it's on there. Oh wait, hold on. No, it's not. Wrong one.
It sure like this, definitely not that.
What are you looking for? Oh,
Here is the basis of it, the body of it.
it's the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah. It's basically them wanting a change of venue, but and they give their reasons. I have heavy breathing. Me?
I don't know. I can't hear it. I got
What'd you say?
headphones up.
Somebody said I sound heavy breathing. I don't even know what that means. Am I out of breath?
Good job. Riddler gifted a membership to the Clue Crew.
Oh, P. Fox. Welcome to the Clue Crew.
And Betty Boop is saying that why didn't 1122 have a camera? We can't answer as to the why, but we can suspect why there were no cameras on that particular property.
There was a camera directly across the street. There was cameras next door.
Right. But that particular house didn't have cameras at all, right?
I don't want anybody calling anybody out by their names in here, especially not other creators. If you disagree, then you disagree, but we're not going to be disrespectful, folks.
Right.
And that goes to anybody else in here, to each other either, okay? So, just saying.
What do you think there, son?
About?
Well, just
I'm afraid to
anything in
breathe.
general.
I just, I think I said about all I can say, right? Like, I mean, with the only thing we have being grainy camera footage, and I suspect that that's the only thing we'll ever see short of actual traffic camera footage that would have been up in Moscow. I don't know how there's any way for anybody to out in the general public to solve this. So at the end of the day, the best we can do is come together and talk about what's out there, that based on what's been filed, and as it pertains to Kohberger,
Amen.
as it pertains to the crime. Theories based on stuff like that all day, I think, are worthwhile to discuss, even if they're out in space. If there's still theories based on what's presented to us, then
Yes.
Okay. But trying to find things that are just going to be impossible to prove it's almost a waste of time and energy, right? And
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Riddler, for that. I appreciate you, brother. Annie Ruler was gifted. Awesome.
I must be hot. I must be breathing heavy because it's hot up in here. This heater is about to run me out of town.
Yes, congrats to all. We have 14 or 15 new members. That's awesome. Thank you to everybody that gifted those, and congrats to the new meatballs.
So there does have to be a camera across the street from the house. Like there has to be.
There is. Well, I can't clarify if it's working, but again,
that's what I was gonna say. You know, a lot of people put up those bait cams. That just have a light that flashes, so people think
scare people, right?
Right.
We know for a fact that there's a camera 50 feet from the house.
Yeah, but that's the one. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one.
If you're going to pick up noises, though, that would be the as far as we know, the most likely camera to pick noises up from. And we don't have any of the footage or anything from there to suggest that all of these noises are being picked up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet away. Okay. That on a camera attached to an apartment complex occupied with people making noise, that apparently none of the noises you're hearing on that fucking camera came from inside that building. They're all the outside noises. Really? It's attached to an apartment building, for God's sakes. How is it only picking up all the stuff that isn't attached to the building? I just don't get it. So if I put a camera outside with sound and start banging around in my house, it's not going to record that. But the guy 4 houses down the street yells at his dog. It's going to pick that up. Okay. I don't want that kind of camera attached to my house.
I will say this, that horn honking on that undercover, quote unquote, cop car was caught on that camera. But it's also a direct line, right?
Well, and it's a certain decibel level too, right? I mean,
thank you, Phantasmic Ether, for the super chat or super sticker.
But at the same time, right? Let's say that if you didn't have the Banfield body cam and you just heard the horn, on that Linda Lane footage, you would never be able to document even remotely close to where that horn came from. It could have been anywhere. It could have been a sound effect in the apartment upstairs. Like, you just don't know, right?
Right.
Because you have 2 points of reference audio, you can sort of get a better idea of where that horn would have come from. But even at that, you still can't tell where it came from. So the only real merit there is, or value there is to that horn sound, is the fact that there was, in fact, a horn. And that's all it is.
But that's my point, was what Mark B said. Something saw the parking maneuver. He tried the 3-point turn in front of the house.
Okay.
There had to be a camera.
Well, you would think so. I would hope that there would be a camera that actually shows that. Otherwise, I feel like you make a lot of assumptions. If you don't actually see that happen on film, you're making a whole lot of assumptions about what that thing did.
Well, you may also be able to catch that from the 50-foot away camera, even though it's not pointing directly at the road, by seeing lights pass it and stop, brake lights light up, something back up and pull away. You may be able to catch a vehicle doing a 3-point turn without actually laying eyes on the vehicle from a camera. You can infer that from the way the lights play across.
Okay, I will. My phone died, Brandy. It's charging right now, and I will just in one moment, guys. Thank you.
But to me, I suspect
much
that the some of these ancillary issues that are brought up that seem to be wildly out there are most likely because they are wildly out there.
I'm just going to ask, out of there's 4 of us up here that I can hear talk back to me and chat too. Does anyone actually know what it would sound like to hear a pothole being moved? I'm just curious about that real quick.
I do.
A what?
Well, I think they meant manhole. But they said pothole.
I do. When I was young, I worked with an asphalt crew.
Asphalt?
Asphalt. Yeah, pavement.
He really says that with an H.
There's a metal lip, and you're dragging an extraordinarily heavy lid across that metal lip. So yeah, that does make a distinctive noise. But to be doing it at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning like that, or whatever time they're saying that happened, I don't think that's a manhole cover being moved.
Well, and here's the thing with, I don't want to sit and talk about that whole nonsense, but the one thing that I would have liked to have seen, okay, if you want to say that there's a manhole cover being moved and that's of some kind of value, show a photo. There have been how many people go out there, drive that area, walk that area. There's video for days of this area since this happened. If there is a manhole there, there's probably video footage of it, and you could have inserted that to give a point of reference of where you believe that manhole cover was being removed from. But to just say I hear a manhole cover, and I mean, what are we implying here?
Listen, it's nonsensical, and it's not germane to the topic.
But why would you even take that risk? We saw cars on that video. If the Linda Lane footage is legit, okay, we have seen cars from 1 o'clock all the way up until 4:20 something. Why would you take the risk of being in the middle of the gosh darn parking lot or the street doing dirt? Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't listen. I think it's if people are doing this for solely entertainment purposes, I think, okay, you could come up with all kinds of wild ideas, and if it entertains you, fine. But to mix them in with reality based on what we've been given, it's, I don't know, man. It's like,
thank you so much.
You convinced me a whale was walking down the street, right?
Thank you so much, Miss Lily. That was amazing of you. God bless. So very much appreciated. Summer Jade, looks like Summer Jade dropped a super sticker.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of as I started telling a lot of people when I was doing things in here, I've said, guys, can we please try to do when we talk about this, can we talk about it with commonsensical thoughts and logic and things like that. Now, obviously, not being disrespectful to the victims or their families, and that's something I had to repeat repeatedly again and again. And there's still stuff out there from all over the place that I've gotten the most ridiculous emails, you guys, that I don't even want to bring. I won't even tell you what they are because they're that ridiculous. And it's just it's enough.
Can I add something about the metal sliding? You've all slid in the doors on a dumpster, haven't you?
Yeah.
Steel and the noise that they make.
That's probably a sound. Yes.
Right.
It is
Probably a sound.
No, that would be, they're claiming manhole cover, but I'm saying if you've ever tried to slide a steel door on a dumpster, slide it open and closed, it makes quite a metallic sound.
Jennifer, I know. Probably shouldn't have put that in writing. Yes. I mean, guys, I understand. Like I said, there's so many people that want to know right now. We all do too.
Oh yeah.
Believe me, we want to know. We want this over with. Okay. I think everybody on this panel right now can clearly, without worried about being untruthful, tell you right now and state, I want the shit over with now, yesterday. But we know it's not going to happen. So to bring out these nonsensical things just to pass the time, it doesn't make sense. Okay, that's all. Thank you so very much, CR. God bless.
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, it's so widespread, right? Like, it's not just one person. It's not just one channel. Like, somebody just asked me a minute ago about the whole knife thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it literally takes 5 seconds to realize it's the fold in the guy's hoodie sleeve. It's not the end. It's not like what do they call that? Not the hilt, but the handle. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a handle. It's literally part of his jacket.
Yes.
But even if it is, it still doesn't connect to anything other than what you want in your head to connect it to.
Right, because there's nothing there's nothing out there that we know of that links that to. I get it's only a few hundred feet away, but it's still a few hundred feet away. Enon Harsh is closer to that house than that is. So, we can go back down the rabbit hole of looking at Enon Harsh as suspect, right? Because I mean, in my mind, I still say, why wasn't he interrogated? Why wasn't he questioned based on his own statements? But that's as far as I'm willing to go with it because that's all we know. So it is what it is.
Well, it was stated to be what, 150 yards? Am I right or am I off?
What?
Between the Linda Lane apartments to the home.
I'd say that's about right. Yeah.
450 feet, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yards, like football field.
But the 150 yards is 450 feet, just because people would realize that, probably recognize it easier than yards.
150 yards. Okay, yeah, I didn't hear you say that. Sorry.
Yeah, 450 feet total.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good distance, guys. I mean, if you take a football field and a half, it's not like right next door. Not right next door.
If they're that good, I don't want my neighbors with cameras. Clearly, they can hear what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
And it's like you hear, they're like, and you hear a thud. God forbid someone shut a cabinet in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, or I don't know, flush a toilet.
Well,
light a cigarette.
If you want to go down the conspiracy theory route, right? And I know we've all talked about this, but I think a potentially viable conspiracy theory would be that some of this that's put out there is put out there to distract and take away from the situation actually at hand, right? That's something to have a discussion about, not necessarily what it is, but why it's put out there in the first place. Why is it leaked? Why is it enhanced 50 different ways? And why are only some of the ways that it's enhanced and some sources of the enhancements the ones that everybody tend to focus on, or the ones that are getting pushed,
So Mark said he measured 303 feet.
Yeah, but even so, 300 feet, 303, 350, that's a long way for a camera to pick up with any accuracy something said that far away. And if it can penetrate that far away in the open, then it's going to pick up stuff when you're off. I don't even want to get into it. But I do want to say, I walked away for a month because of this Linda Lane footage. I said it then, and it's still happening now, that's going to blow this whole thing apart. It's going to just tear everything up. That video being dumped was going to cause more problems, more streams, more confusion, and more arguments than anything else we've looked at, and it would detract from what we do know. Right? And you guys were more than gracious to concentrate on what I thought made a reasonable explanation by one of the survivors. That was kept, and people wanting to talk about that for a long time. They were either shamed or they were blown out of the water by this Linda Lane coverage and the 48,000 different ways, this and that, and this, I heard this, I see. It's just kind of ruined everything. You know, and the most it does is it confirms the statements in the PCA. It says to us the cops aren't lying. There was a car. You could debate all the intricacies about whose car, what car, or whatever, but the bottom line is that clip confirms the statements they made. Right? That's all that clip really is good for. All the other things, if you want to debate the validity of the vehicle, that's fine. But if you want to start looking at all these other things, this guy ran, there's a cat, there's a dog, there's a noise. That's what I meant when I said this was going to blow the true crime series up. And that's all that Linda Lane footage. And tell me I'm wrong. I mean, because if I am, I'll accept being wrong. But that's been the power of Linda Lane.
Well, to be fair, Linda Lane did not take my focus off of the surviving roommates. Like, I'm
talking in the community though, not you guys personally. I'm saying its general effect to the community as a whole has been.
I will agree with that, because these people are taking this video and they're just doing it and doing it and doing it. Wow. Like, let it go. Like,
it's like watching grass grow, some of the things.
And it hasn't even been verified to be legit yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even.
See, and here
everything looks right, but no one has officially come out and said, yes, this is the video from Linda Lane. Nobody has done that yet.
And no one is saying the video. I mean, I think you heard the remainder of what I said, KP, which was the value of the video is it confirms what we know in the PCA, which what have we focused on the whole time? Only data given to us in the PCA, the warrants, the documents, the discovery. That's what we focus on, right? Linda Lane, if it's going to be part of that focus, is based on, it does confirm the points made by the policemen in their paperwork. That's its value. So I'm not saying it's valueless, but all of this ancillary crazy about I heard this drone is part of the fallout from that. And it gets spread. I see these questions come up in these rooms all the time in the chat room, where they're bringing up things that people saw or didn't see. There's one creator out there with these pictures. And I won't mention these streamers, but she really goes into telling me what's in these pictures and then starts flashing them. It's like, really? That's what the Linda Lane and the Banfield footage is good for?
Has anybody ever
can decipher?
Has anybody ever thought that the Linda Lane footage was put out just to make us look another direction from facts, guys?
Yes, 100%. I think that is what happened.
That's exactly what I think it was all about.
What did I say? Why did I say I left? And why did I say I walked away in July? Exactly that.
I agreed. And I agreed with you. Because
I know you did. No, I don't have any problem with you guys. You guys are you're pretty clever. You're pretty good people.
Gee, thanks, Sarge.
Not you don't rate up there with my son, but you guys got something to work for.
Really?
Well, Cletus is the man.
Always got to ruin it. Always got to ruin it.
Well, then that must make me one heck of a woman because he chose this one.
Like his daddy's a bit lazy at times. So
oh my God, you son of a!
I love you too.
The redheaded.
Hey, at least I didn't say I'm rubbing off on you like Dago did. Okay.
Jesus
Christ. Listen,
I don't know. I still I'm telling y'all, this whole Kansas City thing. I talked about this a little bit earlier when I was live, but it has really put things into perspective. Remember how I say all the time, women get passes left and right.
Oh boy, do that.
It's the same. It is literally almost the same situation. These two girls wake up in the house with 4 dead people. This one guy woke up in the house with 3 dead people who weren't even inside. and he is just the spawn of Satan. Everybody and their mama knows he's done something wrong. He's hiding something.
Propaganda.
I think women should be investigating the Idaho 4. Women should be leading that investigation, not men.
But I'm just saying, like, that's the type of stuff that really just twigs my melon, because it's like, why is it, like you said, Sarge, not on this channel, I can promise you, but on a whole lot of other ones, if you stated anything about Dylan, it was, oh, victim shaming, blah, blah. So why is all these channels, why aren't y'all accusing them of victim shaming when it comes to Jordan? Read his story. Like, read his story. He's upset. He's sad. He's depressed. He didn't get to go to the funeral of his 3 friends. Literally planned on going to the next game with them.
And that he bought tickets for, mind you, for all of them to go to.
Exactly. But we're not victim shaming if we think the man is just a big, bad bully, non-estrogen having fool. Like, golly.
And then when it comes to authorities and people in charge, how we quick to accuse and attack and dissect them when it came to the hospital and the sheriff and the Donna case. Listen, there's a double standard, and I think in the Idaho 4 case, women detectives should have been brought in from different agencies to look at this case, because women have a different perspective and they have a different knowledge of women. Men, whether you know it or not, you default to protect women.
They're smarter.
That's your default position. If you're trained from birth, don't hit
100%.
Right? And so it's not correct when women are involved in this situation in the middle of the scene for men to investigate. I just think it's just like when men should not do a body search on a female for a reason. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and women listen, women take their time when they make decisions. They slowly they process the whole situation. I mean, most of the time, okay, especially in a professional setting. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I've always said stuff like that. Women, we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for women. So that's my thought.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true, but that, without us, there'd be nothing.
I guess.
What are you dying over?
Anyway, but all I'm saying is I think like Clue has a perspective on women that us 3 men can learn from, but never really process and see it that way all the time. Where she has that perspective as a woman, and it's just different.
I can tell you when I heard about the case, the very first, knowing that there were 2 surviving people in there, I'm like, okay, so how hard are you guys pumping them for info? And then to come to find out, they weren't interrogated. They just sat them down, gave them coffee, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A if they wanted it, and just talked to them.
All right.
But yet, mind you, though, Jordan is put in handcuffs and taken down to the station.
Right.
No, he wasn't. He was cuffed, but they released him before they left.
Well, that's not good. Do you think Dylan and Bethany saw a pair of handcuffs outside of what they do in their spare time that morning? Do you think they saw a pair of handcuffs?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Exactly. Now you got my point. That is BS. It makes me think I could take over the world. I'm smart enough. Like, if I wanted to be a conniving little piece of junk, I could.
Well, I don't know, Paulie. When you say things like "tweak my melon,"
that's not a thing.
It's a thing. I loved it. Paulie Shore.
Wasn't Dago? I'm not going to say it.
Is that from Son-in-Law?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's the first thing I thought of.
That's where I got it from, I guess. I love.
And the whole point going back to this was that for months and months and months, for a year, more than a year, you couldn't bring up the survivors in a general conversation to review and analyze the statements made and the crime scene, and you were then considered a bad person. But again, when it comes to these other crimes, you could question the hospital. Oh, they screwed up. Well, guess what? They didn't mess up. That woman was on her phone at 7:30 at night. She could have easily called her brother. She had talked to her son an hour and a half after she'd been discharged and never told her son she'd been discharged. So how do you blame the hospital for this? But yet they attacked. But yet you got people in a crime scene with an 8-hour delay to call the police, and the police aren't even called. Somebody else is called to come to the house before the police are called. And it was that someone else that came to the house that actually had to call the police.
I think any one of us up here, if we were police officers, every one of us, any one of us, when we pulled up to the scene of this crime, I think every one of us here would have clearly stated that this person is being detained and this person's being detained, and they would have been immediately put in a car and taken to the station in handcuffs and held until something could prove that they had nothing to do with this. I promise you that didn't happen in any way, shape, or form. Okay?
Doesn't look to it, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't look to have happened at all.
Exactly. So
I gotta say, Terry Martin, welcome to the Clue Crew. And somebody else just said something up here. In Moscow, the cops treat females. Thank you, Mikey S. By the way, the cops treat females like crap. Right? Remember those? Like, I'm not even necessarily going to say it's treating them like crap. Do I think they were a little invasive? Do I think they were a little overstepping their limits? Yes. Like the day they go to that noise complaint, right? They simply ask those guys, what are your names? Now Kaylee did have her ID out, which was probably an easier way to get her information. But the night that they show up and Kaylee and Maddie aren't there, I ain't never seen no stuff like that. Y'all are shining flashlights into people's windows. We're not leaving till you come out. I wish you would do that at my house, because I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't go down that way.
Having somebody call Maddie on the phone wherever she's at to talk to her about people.
Telling her she needs to get home. Like,
I've
never pay my bills.
It's a noise complaint. It's a violation.
They could have wrote
that violation. They could have wrote that violation and mailed it to her.
I think they overstepped their boundaries, because they didn't. One thing that they did do on the one call that pissed me off, they had all those White Claws that were sitting there outside staying cool.
They poured them out.
Decided to think that they weren't open. They weren't bothering anybody. They were on their property, staying outside, staying cold. They go and dump them all out because they just assume that everybody in that house is under the age of 21. What right do you have to do something like that? That is where I dislike the law enforcement in Moscow. Not saying they're all like that. Not saying that they all do things like that, but I've seen some things that has made me say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? So I will agree with that.
I also want to say, when the cop took a picture of her ID, I don't really have a big issue with that, in as much as he would have had to write it down in a book anyways. He was asking who she was. She was part of that property. She was one of the tenants, and he wanted her information. She had her ID. She handed it to him. He took a picture, gave it back. I don't have much of a problem with that. He was going to write it in a book, with modern technology. I just think that wasn't a crazy thing for the policeman to do, and people have blown that all out of proportion. I could see how you would see it otherwise, but he was there for whatever reason. Look at that chair.
Ooh, I'm jealous as hell.
I told them I'd show them a picture. So
is that a potty pan underneath it? What is that? Oh, it's flying out.
That's like, you ain't never gonna get up from the computer now.
No, I probably won't.
You'll be wheeling yourself all over the house, like.
Normally she readjusts in that other one about every 10 minutes, and she hasn't even moved.
I ain't even had to move.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
Nice.
She's floating on a cloud. Her chair is called the cloud.
It is like floating on a cloud.
Better watch out. Brian's an expert in the cloud.
Yeah, I agree with Sarge on that. I've talked to a few other police officers that have said since that they do that from time to time. If they're it's easier if they don't, if they're in a situation, they just want to boom, boom, boom. There you go. I mean, I get it. Okay. A lot of people have a problem with that. So be it. I don't like the fact that you're calling somebody when they're not home. They're just taking things that certain things they've done just irritated me. That doesn't mean that they're all the way around bad law enforcement officials. Okay. That just means that there's specific things they've done that have made me question the way that they handle their authority. Let me put it that way. I think they overstep their authority bounds. Okay.
Well, and something to, with that, So on, what was it, the September visit, the September 1st or September 2nd, that night when they visited, if I'm not mistaken, Blaker and Payne were both there, were they not? When they did
Yeah.
that.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
So they both show up at night for a noise complaint, but it takes them 4 or 5 hours to show up at a quadruple homicide.
Well,
it's
Payne was hunting. That's why.
How do we know that?
Well, that's what the reasoning for him not being there that morning was given.
But that's what I'm saying. How do we know that?
We don't. Him and Chief Fry both supposedly were on a hunting trip. We don't know. That could have just been an excuse. You're right.
Well, my point being, you obviously have alcohol enforcement in the area, right? That seem to be patrolling. I mean, I don't know. I've not been able to get my head around the logic of that situation at all.
I understand.
I still have an issue with when they pulled up to the scene. We don't know for a fact, as far as I've seen, that there were a whole bunch of people out in front of the house. We're told that those are rumors. There's nothing that states that, unless the police said it at a press conference and I'm forgetting it. But if that is accurate, then every one of them people should have been brought to a separate location, individualized. They should have been separated.
So,
and asked questions individually. So
when I met Sarge, the first conversation we had on a live stream, the first thing he said, the very first sentence, that crime scene was bullshit. The first thing they should have done was sat everybody down, detained them all, took fingerprints, swabs, this, that, and I absolutely agreed.
Yeah, and separated them. You got to put them in different areas. You don't want them to interact and combine a story together. You don't want them to.
If they didn't have enough, they should have called in. They work side by side with WSU police, right or wrong. They should have called them in for backup. They should have called in the state police right away. They should have gotten everybody there, the county, I don't care who it is.
You put them in separate cars. You put them in their own car.
That whole thing should have been
separate
locked
everybody.
down.
Yep. That whole crime scene was handled in a way that is just so unprofessional that it's tragic. Because as Cletus has pointed out several times, if they can't nail this guy, then the perps are free.
They're never going to
solve this crime.
That's right. It'll be cold. It'll be cold. And I hate to say this, if this case goes cold, very
you know
sad.
Who they're going to blame? You know who they're going to blame?
Yeah, I do.
Who are they going to blame, Cletus?
All of us.
Yeah, the social media.
Yes.
That thing is that if this does go cold, you guys, a parent is going to be the one that probably solves this, and we'll never be able to grieve the correct way because a parent of this child, one of these children, is going to be the one that does not ever let this go, and that's sad. That's a very sad thing to have to think of.
And a hunting trip doesn't sound outrageous during November because that's usually like where I'm in. That's deer season. You know,
it is, but
there
should be protocol in place, though, Sarge. If something happens and these people, the lead investigator and the chief of police, need to be there, then there should be protocol in place that they can
leave people. They leave people in charge, though. They leave others that are there in charge to notify them if something comes up. I don't really find that to be a serious issue. I think the time, if they were hunting, 5 hours is pretty quick to find hunters in the wood and bring them into it to do their job.
Or I just think they should have brought somebody else in and put them in charge. That's all.
I don't know that you can. How are you going to supersede the chief of police as your patrol guy that was left in charge?
You bring in the assistant chief, or you bring in somebody else, or the chief.
You go to the district attorney is what I would have done.
Or bring the chief from Pullman or something. I don't know. You just find somebody to. I mean, that's what we've done. You know. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm too loud, you guys. Tell me if I am. My apologies. My mic keeps going all over the place. My apologies.
Except
when we would go to a I know it's probably different and that's fine, but when we would go to a scene of a fire, if we responded as mutual aid and we got to the fire before law enforcement did, we took command of that scene. Or if they couldn't get there, they would call in mutual aid or backup. Whoever gets there takes command of that scene. That's something that I just feel like should be protocol in law enforcement as well. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being stupid.
And no, you're not. But taking control of the scene is simply preserving it, not investigating it. So that would be what the arriving officers are going to do: secure the scene for the investigators' arrival. So that's why I'm saying I'm not so sure. Maybe I would have talked with the sheriff and asked if he wanted me to call the coroner. Maybe I would have tried to find directions over a phone from my boss. But if he's out in the if he literally is in the woods hunting, your ability to contact him may be highly limited. But right, they should have locked that scene down. They should have locked the suspects down. Nobody should have gone home till way after 5 p.m. until the because you're waiting for the guys that are in charge, right, to come in. So anybody that was at that house in that driveway should have been detained and separated from one another and kept in separate areas. It could be cafeterias. You could have an officer sit with someone at Taco Bell, for God's sakes, and talk to them. You didn't need to arrest them, but you did need to question everybody and get a story from them, individual from each other. And I don't think that was done from what we could see. If in fact these people, the rumor is that all those people were there first, and there's also the rumor that everybody knew by 9:30. And but there's nobody that can prove these things. There's no. So it's kind of like, who knows if these things are even true. There were statements from people that were waiting to meet Ethan, and he didn't show up. We knew that he was destined to be with other schoolmates for a project, and he didn't show up. So we knew, at least that group of his friends weren't anywhere near the house. I don't know.
That's a good point, Jennifer. I think we brought this up before. In the PCA, it says, when Officer Payne arrived, Idaho State Police was preparing to begin processing the scene. They hadn't even started yet. And that's something I questioned as well. Just as much as
here's what I'm saying, though, was he a lead investigator?
He is the lead investigator.
So that statement is not out of order. That's what I was saying before.
What did they do before all that time until 4?
You secured a crime scene, do nothing.
Well, why were they preparing to begin processing then?
They were preparing to begin processing the scene. They hadn't even started when Payne arrived, because he has to arrive and do his walkthrough. And then the ISP will start to prepare only once the lead investigator's gone through and seen what he's seen.
Right. No, that part I understand. But I feel like they should have started processing. You don't have to have the lead investigator there to do that, do you? Why?
Well, I would think that you do need the lead person in charge. That's why they secure the scene. You see it on crime shows happen all the time. Secure the scene officers. You call anybody? No, we'll call dispatch. Get Sherlock Holmes down here. Whatever it is. Securing the scene is the responsibility of the beat cop, not organizing an investigation. That's why police departments are broken up between investigators, patrol cops, alcohol cops.
So do you believe then that I still thought that Officer Nunez, Officer Smith, and Blaker could have been the ones writing the PCA as well, because they were first on scene and they were the ones that handled everything, and it should have been them to write it, not Payne, because he took a second, what do we call it? Sarge loves this. Third party info. I'm going to say second and third party info. And that's what the PCA was written on, which is why I think I just didn't agree with that either. Maybe that's why it's overwritten. I don't know.
Well, it's, I don't know. I'm just saying, me personally, what do you think, Lou? Do you think securing the scene and holding for your investigators is a problem? It's suspicious or it's weird?
Do I think that's weird?
Yeah, or wrong? Do you think that something was done wrong in that process?
Securing the scene and holding it for them?
Yes.
Yeah, the way that they did it.
Angela D thought I was going to look like Walter Matthau. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think you look just like you sound, Dennis Farina.
I don't think it was suspicious. I thought it was just, I'll say I thought it was strange, not suspicious. But go ahead. I'm answering for Clue.
Yeah, what do you think?
Thank you, Eagle.
I tell you, so I don't think they knew what they were doing. That was clearly evident by the lady dropping the glove, picking it up with a clean glove, putting it, and then reaching in the box of gloves like that. There's possibility for cross-contamination all over the place.
Yeah.
The other thing that really bothers me is the statement that was made. This isn't hearsay. It was made by Kathy Mabbitt in the first place, that she had to wait until the police did their investigation, which,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, the coroner is supposed to help with the investigation.
Right.
Yep.
So why did you have to stay out of there? You know what I mean?
No, I think you see, I don't fully agree with that.
Well, let me see. I'm gonna pull it up.
Because what the police are to do is to document everything, and you do see coroners getting involved in TV shows and stuff, but generally the coroner work, if they're in the crime scene at all briefly, is to ensure that the bodies haven't been moved, and to make sure to give a few instructions that the investigators and people should already be aware of, but just to reaffirm instructions and then get out of the way.
Okay, hold on. Let me read something for you.
All right.
Under Title 19, Chapter 43, Section 194301 of the Idaho Code, the coroner, as soon as she is informed that a person in her county has died as a result of violence, whether apparently homicidal, suicidal, or accidental, or A, under suspicious or unknown circumstances, or B, when not attended by a physician during his/her last illness, and the cause of death cannot be certified by a physician, shall go to place of death and take charge of the body. An investigation into the events leading up to the person's death shall commence in cooperation with the law appropriate law enforcement agency.
Right. And that happened.
They didn't do an investigation in cooperation with the coroner. They let her come in when they were done.
But they had phone communications with. Okay, but she did show up to the scene. Is that correct?
Yeah, and she did say that I think she did say she was notified and she didn't go because they were doing their thing. And I think that's where a lot of the issue lies, right? Is it's just the question of that process. And I'm with you on what you're saying, Sarge. I think, as far as pain, as far as the ISP forensics team showing up and preparing and not going in until Payne and Blaker get there, I do agree. I think that probably makes sense. I get them preparing, and they're probably out there preparing and waiting for these guys to show up. I can see that making sense. But I do think there's a point to be made about maybe not showing up.
It's in the law.
And when it is just like what she read right there out in the law, right? And I get maybe it's point of view or the way she portrayed it was, I was notified, but I didn't go because they were doing their investigation. Well,
that's exactly
that's her choice. And if that's the way she chooses to cooperate, then fine. But it is just kind of it leaves the question of, well, why did you make that choice? But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess she made the choice.
I thought
the same
that's
reason
not what she said. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and listen to it. But I thought she said something like, I couldn't maybe go there.
Well, she said she was there. I thought she said she was there and was kind of waited around for a while until they could finish up, and then she stepped in at 5 and basically started doing her job.
I'm gonna listen to it again.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
I want to hear what she says because I'm telling y'all, she made it seem like
I still don't see what took place as being. I don't see what took place as being outside. So outside a process that it would be inappropriate. I mean, look at folks. Today's technology. She may have gotten photos of the scene from the investigators, and she's like, "Yeah, you start your investigation."
Okay, that's cool if that's the way you want to operate.
We don't know,
but all I'm saying is that is not the way this code is written and how you are supposed to be involved. That's funny to me. I'm sorry, but that's off.
Okay, to me, I can see that not being funny.
And this comment Jennifer Hansen made has bothered me from the moment that I found out about that. She says, Dago, I still want to know who pronounced the deaths. And from my understanding, she did and said it was noon when she got there. That's my understanding, and I could be wrong. But according to the state of Idaho, only doctors and EMTs can pronounce. And they did not allow the EMTs in the house, which is a problem I've always had. Okay, because even for somebody that has is called in on 911 as somebody that's passed out, they're gonna roll EMS right with the police. Okay, they're gonna roll the EMS before they're gonna roll police on something like this, unless there's something in that call that tells them there was another problem. So typically that would have been an EMS call only. Police may respond, that's fine. But they didn't. They were either told to stop, or when they got there, they were told to stand by. They were never allowed to go in that house, which has never sat right with me. Being an experienced in EMS and been on multiple scenes that way. I even called guys. I called local areas in that area. I called into Washington, all over the place to see what protocol is. And that's what it is everywhere. It's everywhere. And they just, for some reason, said, nope, you're not coming in. And I've never been good with that. I'm sorry. Maybe they said, hey, we don't need you. If that's the case, that's wrong, because you don't know. I'm not saying that these guys weren't trained in first aid or any of that kind of stuff. That's fine. And I'm sure they could tell that these people were not any longer with us. But it's still always protocol. I believe everywhere that I've looked into that they at least go in and take a look. Okay. And they can pronounce certain things, so on and so forth. And it's just been a problem for me. I've never been comfortable with that for a long, long time.
Well, I will say if the police can tell
Right.
that
I understand. That's what I'm saying. I get that.
And they're securing the crime scene, so you don't want anybody going into that crime scene.
And that's the only thing I could say made any sense was, unless because of the inexperience, they were nervous and they said, we don't want anything else in here. It's already been compromised. That is understandable, but still, it still was just, it hit me wrong when I heard that. That's all I'm saying.
All right. They wanted me to pull this up. So
to do what?
They want me to pull this up.
All right. I'm going to grab some soda.
I got the call just a few minutes after noon that there were 4 homicides, but I didn't go to the scene because of law enforcement doing their investigation first. So I didn't actually go to the scene until about 5 or 5:30.
You were right.
Because of law enforcement doing their investigation, which again is directly against your protocol per the Idaho law.
Well, she's supposed to work with other. Doesn't it say she works with other agencies? Read that part of the protocol.
It was about the cooperation. Yeah, read what it said again.
Yeah,
Oh, God, where the heck was
that? She's going to cooperate with other agencies and investigative bodies or some shit.
Okay. We all know the suspicious homicide, whatever, right? And it says, hold on.
Well, is it fair to say that they saw that it was obviously stab wounds or some kind of sharp-edged device that caused the deceased to be deceased and notified the coroner of that, and she just sat back? They locked the scene down to the investigators are going to come, and she shows up about the time of the investigators if you listen to her.
Well, that's what's weird, right? Because it says the cause of death cannot be certified by a physician.
Right.
Then at that point, she shall go to the place of death and take charge of the body. An investigation into the events leading up to the person's death shall commence in cooperation with the appropriate law enforcement agency.
Yeah, so, when you look at the time that she does arrive on the scene and the fact that they were securing that scene, waiting investigators, that seems to fit what kept her out of that house for those hours.
Well, it also goes on to say the coroner may authorize an autopsy to be performed by a licensed physician to aid in accurately and scientifically determining the cause and manner of death. The coroner shall also prepare a written report of the factual information gathered during the course of such an investigation.
Yeah.
How you gathering something they doing the investigation without you? I'm just saying.
No, you collect their notes and you collect their information. You don't walk through the investigation step by step with the investigators. Absolutely not. You wait for the reports, their pictures.
Is that not what that's saying, or am I crazy?
No, that's what it's saying, and I think in fair,
I'm like, he's not getting it.
So
I don't
the
think
investigators show up roughly at the same time she does, right?
Right.
Or and so she's walking through with the investigators. The only problem that I have at that point is when the investigators show up, they mention Nunez or Smith, one of them walking them through the crime scene, which means one of these guys has already been through the entire crime scene.
Sure, he has. He's the one that discovered.
Two of them.
Yeah,
because Nunez has they reference Nunez for the body cam of the dog being in Kaylee's room, so they've both been all through that house.
Yeah.
Right. And so one of the beat cops that went through the house walked the investigators and most likely the coroner through, explaining where he went, what he saw, and his decisions to move through the house. So that's her working with the investigators. I really think the issue lies in putting together a bunch of stuff that shows the inappropriate manner under which it was actually sifted through is more pertinent than their timing with the coroner, because she does line up with the investigator present. She is, as you're saying, supposed to be there with the investigator. She is. And then she's supposed to work with these agencies for answers, and she is. And if we then take the delay between the time the investigator shows up and the initial call, well, the officer securing the scene is consistent with waiting for those that have the skills to do the work get there. So I don't know that it's all that crazy. That's just my opinion. It doesn't seem legally crazy at all. Unfortunate. All these bad things happened. All this time passed. Poor victims. And the time of death would be important too. I don't suspect I find it hard to believe that everybody passed at the same time.
12 o'clock.
I mean, for all we know, somebody could have been awake or could have been unable to do anything but breathing for, from 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock the next morning. We just don't know. That's what I want to see the coroner report show us. Can they confirm the time of death with a relative accuracy? And how close in time are these poor victims passed?
I know that paper she put out, like her official whatever, they're all marked 12 o'clock p.m. when she got the call.
Okay. She was notified at noon, which is 4 minutes after the call went into 911, right?
Right.
That is a good point of what Sarge just said about what the actual times of death for each one was, because they don't actually put that in the PCA in terms of approximation of time between each of them.
There's no way they all pass at the same exact time.
Right. So that to me is a relevant thing to look for, dig for, or hope to see, because and then again, I'm beating a dead horse, but I don't think that from 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I don't see any problem at all. I think they follow protocol as it could be followed. And the right people, the people went and did their job, and that's that.
That's I'm glad that I did not know that. Facts and truth only. Kuminati, love your show. Nunez was also a trained EMT.
Yeah,
could have made a difference with that. That's
Thank you.
To know. Yeah, that's interesting to know. I did not know that. Thank you for that.
And I
thank you. Hold on, Sarge. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat.
You got to say it with your voice.
What?
Say it with your voice.
You got to say thank you for the super chat.
Are you serious? I've never done that.
Yeah, I think
you got to start right now.
Facts and truth only, please. Thank you for the super chat.
There you go.
Oh, that's a first.
Thank you for the information, Facts. That's something I did not know, and I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, and I do, like I answered you up there too. I do think that could have.
Can I just say
if
something?
they have to call it, then yeah.
Summer, it's inappropriate for you to tell us what we can and can't say. I gave an example. I never said that somebody was. I said that we don't know. And so for you to come in and say that it's inappropriate or wrong because a family member might be here, rest assured they're probably considering that themselves. But of course it's something we should consider. More so than any of this other crazy stuff. At least that has some sensible connection to what you want to look at with a crime. It's not a reflection, it's a reality. Dear God.
Well, I don't think it was meant in a way like that at all. I'm just saying that I think, like I said, as far as stamping the time of death, I don't think it would be the only comment I had on that was that I don't think it would be at the same. It shouldn't be at the same exact time.
Right.
At all. And, we don't know that obviously.
Listen, and there was an 8-hour delay to get in touch with the police, right? So it's a horrible thing if you find out that the times of death of these people are separated by any great periods, because that 8-hour delay becomes even more critical.
Somebody said who picked up the bodies, right? And I'm like, we don't know.
No, we don't.
Nobody knows. No one knows.
Nobody has ever known that the whole time. That's been a question multiple times.
I gotta say too, there is something like I know people make reference to Twin Peaks. I have no idea what that is. I think of boobs. That's probably wrong.
No, it was a TV show.
Okay.
Back in the 80s. So it the way that Moscow has unfolded has flowed a lot like the strangeness of that TV show. That's why.
Well, I will say this much for that place. I don't know what kind of destination they are and like off the gridness, but I do find it absolutely insane that there's only 2 media outlets who knew anything about this until like the day after.
As far as being on scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're both local.
I agree. Yeah, that was weird.
Well, they tamp that stuff down because local people listen to local scanners and they check the local police blotters.
That's probably all that was local, and the police obviously weren't going to broadcast it to the whole world. So
right, they weren't going to call CNN and bring the storm down on their own head.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted anybody really to know about it until they had the press conference. But you know how that goes. It was. That's true, Gray. Yeah. I agree with that comment too.
Yeah, but you would think if it almost kind of lends a little non-credence to all these people that say, oh, people knew at 8:30 in the morning. And it wasn't just in Idaho. People knew at 8:30 in the morning in Washington. And by 8:30 in the morning, no one was like, hey, look, Fox News, slide me $50, I'll give you a story.
Right.
I just find that so hard to believe.
Isn't it Enon Harsh that helped develop that 9:30?
I thought it was that WSU Kim person, but I don't know.
But Enon Harsh, I think too, said he realized he was getting ready. Someone was getting ready. Dude was getting ready for work, and he said
it was Dave. Dave is the one that gave the interview, and he said that he was getting ready for work, and he looked at his phone, and then decided not to go to work because of the scenario. So,
what?
But this person has never been
seen
100% verified, right?
Well,
right.
Daniel vetted him.
Okay.
As far as I know, that's all I know about it. I think Lana did too, because she interviewed with him as well. But he's never been seen or heard from again. So I don't know.
It was Dave, and there is proof. What is the proof, Jesse Lynn? And we're asking not to be contrary. Just it'd be nice to see what the proof is.
Yeah, the Dave whose real name is not Dave, but then Dave allegedly doesn't work on Sundays. Oh, see, I knew it was something funky about that.
Yeah, well, we don't know if that's true either. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. To believe or to not believe. That is the question.
I don't believe nobody coming out about this. You want to know why? Because ain't nobody coming out about this. If that makes any sense.
No, the Jeremy guy, what he says.
Yeah.
Like him being there, living there, that I believe. That I believe, right? Enon Harsh lives there. That I believe.
Yeah.
Short of those two statements and those two people,
right.
To my knowledge, we haven't seen
good point,
any real proof of anybody else, right? So, I mean, it's just another one of those third-party information scenarios.
I think this was kept super quiet. Now, I will say the Gonzaleses say that like people were calling them, but as far as so one thing, right? I think there is people that assume the people that say they knew first thing in the morning is credible because we hear Jasmine talk about getting a call, someone saying something bad happened on King Road, right? But if you listen to what she says, she got in the car, started driving. It's an 8-minute drive. She called her dad, told him to meet her over there, meet her at Xana's house. By the time they get there, they're met with police tape. So they obviously didn't know that freaking early.
Right.
And it'd be nice to get answers to some of these things that have, things like this that are impactful in their value. If they're true, there's an impact that it affects this case. The thing is, solidifying them is fact or fiction. It's just very difficult when we're sitting at home on a phone or a computer. Right?
Joanne says that Scott Green talks about knowing early that morning in his book. Oh boy.
You got to be kidding me.
No, that see, I don't understand how he did that either.
Can somebody get a copy of what he says to that? That would be nice, and be able to post that page. Or
I don't even want to.
I'm not buying that book.
I'm not either.
But that person, Joanne, is making the statement, so I'm asking her directly.
Oh yeah, Joanne has the book.
Joanne, can you take what he says from that book and provide it so that we can all see it?
Yeah, that would be awesome, because I've heard a few things that were in that chapter in that book that I was surprised about.
I put my email in there, Joanne.
Right. So I'll say this about that though, right?
How much is the book? Jesus.
Even though I get his position and who he is, it's still unless he's willing to explain and document how he knew early in the morning and quantify what early in the morning was. It's another one of those things of
what
third-hand information, and it's unverifiable.
$33? I'm not giving that man $33 just to be inside of his.
It's not for him. It goes to the memorial. It goes to a place inside the school. None of the profits, none of that money goes to him.
It's like $45 after shipping. Pickle said she has one on the way, but she also says, yeah, she's right, but he has the timeline all screwed up.
It'd be nice to see what he's got when you get that book, Pickle. If you want us to throw you a few bucks for the whatever.
I'd be curious to read, only that chapter, just to see how he explains everything his way.
I'm the same. That's the only thing I'd want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd be interested in looking at the whole thing just to see how much credibility I'm willing to give the last chapter, in all fairness.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
I had heard somebody, it's probably a rumor, state that it was spoken about that Scott Green was at the house too before the 911 call. Now that is strange. I'm sorry, but it tells me that he was contacted for some reason before 911. Like, why would you call him before you would call? I mean, just the same way that they called other students over. I get that, but still, that doesn't make sense to me. And if that's true, that's something
that they identified the victims to the college president. I don't think that would be unusual. That he would know first.
He also talks about how they put together a task team and held briefings with law enforcement every day, and he knew the names of the victims before the families did. That's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If that's true, that's wrong. That shouldn't be. That's crazy. Jennifer says someone was watching them, I think. Well, I mean, anything's possible, Jennifer. Anything.
Oh, it's called the University President's Crisis Handbook. Here.
Wow. It does say that. I watched a podcast. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Joanne. Families should be I agree, Donald. Nobody should know other than the law enforcement and the families, period.
Well, and that goes back to the whole Kansas City thing, right? We heard that statement. Somebody said about the cops don't care about the public's desire to know. And I was put off by that statement so bad, because I'm like, y'all, you're literally talking about the public's desire to know, but the families haven't even found out what happened to these guys, right? and I don't know. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
a crazy world we live in.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, it is. What I wanted to know, if this comes out to be true, is why anybody in Pullman knew early in the morning. Okay, because that's where Jasmine was, and if that comes out to be a true fact, how and why they knew so early? They knew before law enforcement per se, based on a rumor, I believe it is. But if that, like I said, if that turns out to be true, that's something I've always wondered is how.
Well, I mean, if the roommates had called, if the survivors had called somebody to the house, I don't see it completely unlikely that somebody in Pullman could have heard before the cops heard, right? Because I mean, but how early that would have been, I don't know. You know,
I don't believe it at all. I believe that's a fake rumor.
What, that somebody that the roommates called friends over first?
No, that 8:30, 9:30 people in the community were aware of it. I think that's a false rumor.
Well, here's the thing though, is if somebody, the only way that this made sense to me is if somebody did show up to the house early and knows who Xana is and knows that Xana and Jasmine are sisters, they do know people in Pullman. That's the only way that made any sense to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody got a hold of Jasmine and said this and that and so on and so forth. So that's the only thing that made sense to me with that.
Well, I just suspect that I don't care how that person was verified. I don't accept that as a fact because it can't be verified beyond that. And Daniel, he's had his moments, and it was Lana that claims to have verified him. And they're great people, I suppose.
Right.
But I still do not accept that verification as making this fact. Rumor is what I see it as. I just can't wrap my head around that thought being accurate that people knew at 9:30 in the morning. Sorry, I don't buy it. That house would have been flooded with people. That whole neighborhood, you wouldn't be able to get a car in there. Are you serious?
I do believe Jasmine is in a sorority as well. I don't know if it's the same one.
I don't either.
I'm pretty sure she's in one though.
Right. Joanne, don't work too hard. Yeah, I mean, some things that look, it could turn out to be accurate that it was 9:30, but we have nothing to support that on. But what if I don't know. We have nothing to support it on. Let me just put it that way. We have the words of somebody that spoke into a microphone on YouTube, but no verification, no documentation that we're aware of, no copy of anything that would support the person's statement. So therefore, it has to be considered rumor.
What did Lily say about an interview? I'm backing up to it just to double check it, Lily. I may not have seen it, so I'm sorry. There's a lot of people to keep up. Now I see that. Did you say something before that, Lily? Because that's the first one I've seen. I'm sorry. I try to catch everybody's comments, folks. I'm sorry that I don't all the time. Where did you leave it at, Lily? Because I don't see anything about an interview. I'm sorry. I'm still looking though.
That's awesome. You guys get all the likes. Good amount of people between you. How much to do on the 13th at 5 a.m.
Appreciate you very
Sarge,
much.
Your mic's messing up, Sarge.
Yeah, it keeps cutting in and out big time.
It's even now it's doing it.
It's staticky.
Yeah.
All right, Lily, if you could repost what you stated, hun. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I didn't see it. I'm trying. Wait, Leon says, I think they got called over when police started arriving. They would have needed to be held back from entering the house if they thought they're safe. Yeah, I can agree on that one. That definitely.
I'm gonna jump out and come back in. I'm gonna refresh.
Okay, in chat. No, I know, Lily. I'm looking in chat about that, but I don't see what you were stating, hon. That's because the piano keeps talking and not looking. Okay, well,
There it is. Katie's friend in the interview stated that in the morning she texted Kaylee to see if she was okay.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, there was one of her friends said that she contacted her in the morning. She said, I remember hearing that. It was one of her friends. I contacted her in the morning to see if she was okay.
Right. That we just saw that.
That was 48 hours or something like that. I think it was on. I do remember that. But that, I mean, I knew that. I don't know that. I don't see that as a problem though, because maybe the girl was just stating it as a, like a just a statement. She didn't specify a time.
No.
That could have been at 10, 11.
Well, and I could be mistaken, but my impression was that she was trying to get a hold of her friend, and her friend wasn't replying. Neither was Maddie.
Didn't answer, right?
And then she found out that they were passed away, right?
Yeah. That's when it hit, I think.
She didn't know at that point because she says, I mean, of course they didn't reply. They were, and she
right. Yeah, that was.
So she didn't know earlier that there was a crime there. She was trying to get a hold of her friends for whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually wish she would have specified a time. That would have been a lot better. I see what you're saying, though, Lily. That's a good point. Now, if she would have said, I tried to call at 8 a.m. or 8:30 and she wasn't answering or something, like that would have said something right there in itself. But you're still right, though. She said, I tried to call her in the morning to ask if she was okay. Well, why were you doing that? Unless you knew something already. So that does make a point, Lily. That's a good point.
We should play that clip. I don't remember her saying she was calling to see if she was all right.
It was it Dateline or 48 Hours?
If you have it, if not, then forget it. It's gonna be a big issue. Then we'll
Which
or was it that one with Olivia?
Yeah,
no, it
mother
was
and daughter there.
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was the whichever one was the last one to come out, Dateline or 48 Hours.
It was the one where they had all of the kids interviewing the friends.
Can I say there's and I with full respect, many admit some earlier messages that were being heard saying across YouTube. We're not having many people come on to admit that. Nobody has come forward from that area saying that they got messages, other than that one person that nobody. It is what it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But none of the kids in that area with phones that would have been alerted earlier, none of them ever came forward to make a statement. Somebody named, and the person's name isn't even Dave, but someone supposedly named Dave did. But again, whatever proof he provided, why that wasn't shown to people without any identifiers to that person is shocking. Right? I mean, if I got a message on whatever, and I had a copy of that, isn't there a way to block out my identification so you could see the body of that message? Right? You follow what I'm saying?
Yes. I'm looking for this interview. Give me a second.
Was Dave's comments accompanied by the actual message that he had got? And I don't think it was. That's why I consider it. What do we call that there, Rita?
Mountain Mama, welcome to the Clue Crew. And he has a question for you.
Who?
Sarge.
What do we call it when somebody doesn't verify their information, just makes a statement?
Say that again.
What do you call it when someone doesn't verify their statement?
Slander.
I was just teasing about third party. That's all.
I guess.
Let's make that a big issue. Yeah, so someone named Dave tells us something, and we have to take it on faith that, and the two tubers, I'm not just saying anything negative about them at all, but it was not accompanied with documentation to support this guy's statement to them. We did not see that.
He's talking about something different than you are, Lily.
Dave is in Paramount, they said. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, he is. There's a few people in there.
Is Dave the person that made that statement will be in Paramount?
That's my understanding. We'll have to see. All right, I'm looking right now. It's not in the 48 hours one, so it's going to have to be the newer Dateline. I'm sorry. 1 second.
51 terabytes of pure evidence. That's not even possible. For there to be 51 terabytes of evidence, it would have had to have been Kohberger wearing a body cam documenting his life for about a month.
Right. All while doing a Pharaoh scan of the house.
Yeah. There's 51 terabytes of data, but that's going to include all the tips, all the interviews, all the anything and everything connected to the case. Daniel Veteran. It's not that I don't trust Daniel. It's that, or Lana. I no impugnment to those folks at all. It's that if there isn't paperwork or documentation that's to support his statement, then I'll still consider it rumor. Yeah, that's what I say. I know what they're saying, but there's no proof that Snapchat exists. Daniel, is it Daniel that said that, or Dan? I forget. Oh no, Cindy Kirk. I don't know how to say that word. Yeah, it's not. Let's not point out an individual. I only had to use their particular names because they're the two people that actually put this forward. I'm not tuning them out. Yes, Terry, it is. Everything they have is the 51 terabyte.
Well, is it, or is it?
It's digital data, sure.
I'm confused about that, right? Because is the 51 terabytes like is that the culmination of everything that's been turned over, or was that turned over to them in the beginning? Because that's what I'm kind of confused about. And I think I've heard it both ways, but I'm not sure.
Could be more. Could be more. You're right. It could be more.
Because I could swear that the 51 terabytes has been talked about for quite a while, which sort of leads me to believe that it's before the latest scans, alleged scans that they did, right?
Our buddy Eddie asked me a question. Do I think Hunter Johnson called 911? And if so, what is your source? If I remember correctly, we were told by the chief of police that it was a friend of the roommates that had made that call. Were we not? Where did that come from, folks? Do you remember? Where we got that information from? That it wasn't the roommates that called?
All we've heard from them is it was made from inside the house from one of the roommates' phones.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then the rumor being that she called someone over and that person used her phone to make the call. There's no way to support that as a fact. That's kind of it's a rumor. We don't know.
Right.
Right. She could have called 911 herself. Probably.
Well, or one of the roommates.
They said the roommate's phone was used, though.
That's what they said, and you know, I don't remember where the friend they called friends to the house first came from, but you know, I mean, one of the roommates' phones being used still implies that it could have been the other roommate, the other surviving roommate that made the call, or it could have been anybody, right? It just doesn't specify, but it doesn't eliminate the possibility of, let's say, Bethany using Dylan's phone or Dylan using Bethany's phone, or for that matter, either of them using their own phones.
All they've ever said is we're not going to release the identity of the person who made the 911 call.
Right.
Yeah, Jennifer said, no, they did say it was made on their phone, but it was not them. That's what she's saying.
Okay. That doesn't sound wrong to me either. So, I mean, that may have been what they said.
Yeah, and I think so much information and so much stuff is going in. Like I said, that Linda Lane, a lot of this stuff has been now these questions are good questions to know the factual basis of them. Right? Some of the things that we're told have taken place. There's time now where those things can be verified or found to be debunked. Where for the most time, it's been that stupid Linda Lane coverage for months and months.
I'm also with Mountain Mama on this. Like, that's bothered me from the beginning too, why the Gonsalveses wouldn't have gotten their car and went there.
Well, if I remember, they said they were told not to, right? I mean,
I don't give a...
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm playing through making sure my memory is right. They said they got the call. They called Moscow PD, and they told them that not to come there or something like that.
They did.
Okay, so that is the way.
Stay put. We'll
right.
have someone call you, but no, that's not how that would go down.
I can't find this interview, you guys. I'm sorry. I've looked. I can't find it.
You did play it the other day, but it's not. It's
right.
nothing to be worried about. Yeah. We should make. Yeah, I start making notes of stuff we're saying here, and then we can look for it.
Well, that's where Eddie comes in. Eddie's got every note about it.
Yeah, Eddie, what the hell are you doing in the chat room? For God's sake. Jeez. Yeah, the LE did do a press conference about the 911 call. And I thought too that early on that was stated that it was the roommate's phone was used.
It was, yeah. They kind of hinted around to the fact that it was Dylan's.
Really?
I don't know if they hinted around to that, but
hold on,
because she lived on the second floor.
Yeah, I don't remember them alluding to.
See, that's what I thought. Jennifer Hansen just said that interview is not on YouTube anymore, and I have all the stuff that I had downloaded is gone because of my new computer stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've got them somewhere on this machine.
You'll have to look for them because I know you've got them.
Well, for these folks that are for folks here in the chat room, this would be interesting. For the folks that have this, their thought process tells them that this stuff was said a certain way, and you heard it somewhere. It would be awesome if you took a little time and dug that out, and then we could play it across the stream. A community, and we help one another in other words, instead of having just Clue and Dago, and I'm pretty effing lazy, so I can't include myself in all that digging.
We know.
Yeah,
I'm looking for this other one though, because it's in here, I do believe. 1 second.
But I'd have been in that car hella fast the minute I heard any idea something happened to my daughter. My car would have linked.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No
right?
doubt.
At that time, I had that car at top speed. It was 196. I'd have found 250 out of it somehow.
Like, I don't care if you told me to sit. First off, you don't own me.
No, as my kid, you don't tell me what to do.
If I called my kid and I wasn't getting an answer, and then they said they started calling Maddie too, and she wasn't answering, no, bro, I'm on the way. House full of people or not, like, y'all can handle this.
If some of you are going to email stuff to either one of Clue or Dago, it would be very helpful if in the subject line you put in there reference last night's video or something so that they know you're not. They get so many emails, something to make it stand out in the subject line. The video we talked about on your stream and some stars or something in there to make it noticeable in subject line. That way, because they get hundreds of emails that help yourself stick out when you send an email that's connected.
They will now forever be linked in death.
Okay, I swear that this interview had there's so many of these, it drives me nuts. But I thought this is the one where she said it was morning, sometime in that morning.
That's what I thought too. It looked like
5 Seattle, brother.
But it's a girl that knew Kaylee, not Zane.
Well, there was initially that one, but then there's this one too. And I thought it was this one that she spoke about what time she got a call or something like that. And I don't know if I skipped over it. Is it here? Now, somebody said that they took that interview down. And I don't know. I wonder why I lost these.
Clue's got all of them, so it's a matter.
I have them on my videos too, but
well, she's got them downloaded. She's got them downloaded, so it'd be a matter of trying to go through them.
That's it.
Blonde haired girl, you guys played it the other night. Ironically,
there was the blonde haired girl, and she stated the first date line of the first 20. There was a 2020. Thank you, Brandy. Hold on a minute. Let me check that real quick. Sorry, guys.
Dateline NBC correspondent Keith Morrison is joining us.
Hold on a minute.
We're holding.
A court hearing for the suspect in 4 Idaho college students' murder has been delayed until June. Bryan Kohberger's attorneys requested more time to review the evidence. The 4 students were found fatally stabbed in their off-campus home. ABC's Kana Whitworth joins us now with more on tonight's 2020 2-hour special on the shocking student murders in Idaho with you. Now, is there some relief for them now that an arrest has been made?
You know what a lot of them said was that they did breathe a sigh of relief, if you will, but there's no turning back time. They know.
So aside from this gentleman from that KC case going to rehab, is there any other developments? Anything released from the police?
And emails maintaining the fatal stabbings were targeted. This time we hear from the 2 surviving roommates inside lives lost.
How
as friends remember 4 lives
I felt to be your friend.
For the first time, we hear 3 weeks later, no suspects. As
How truly special I felt.
First time we hear words.
I'm going to be reading one from
At a survey
these 4 beautiful people.
And Bethany Funk.
Maddie and Ethan were they all.
Officials say the surviving roommates have been ruled out as potential suspects or friends November 13th in their beds. With no, the Moscow Police Department, more than 100 in emails maintaining the targeted, saying they're respecting, stoking community. But in this, Tyler Gonzalez is speaking out about the investigation to Fox.
Oh, he's communicating.
He's terrified the trail could go cold.
I don't know how you can.
Fearful they person and
channel. Follow NBC News app.
Clue, did you discover if the +1 invite was real? Clue?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Unless Dago changed his name to Clue, yeah.
Gave birth to a new baby girl in Los Angeles.
I was trying to find this.
First,
I'm sorry.
She had severe.
I was trying to find this video.
She went down fighting.
I believe so. It's upsetting to think about.
She was always a strong.
A judge has, but he is to remember.
He's not important.
Place that because the coroner told them that they believed that the 2 girls on the 3rd floor were the first ones attacked and killed. How did he know to go to the 3rd floor?
That's Greg Hughes, he knows.
Dago, there's a message in chat that says somebody found it.
Her name is Katie, they're saying. So did you confirm that she was invited?
That was her name, Katie.
Did you guys confirm that she was invited as a +1 for Dylan?
I haven't looked since the other day.
Did you confirm that? No, she didn't.
Okay.
I'm still gonna find it. Don't worry about it. Do you want to send it to my email? It's 2020 or yeah, Lily, do you want to do that or no? I'd be happy to play it. Like I said, there's so much to go through. Are you still here, Clue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have to keep muting because I'm eating.
No, you're all right.
I'm snacking, so
it's all good in the hood.
Mukbanging them chips.
You're such an idiot.
What are you eating, Clue?
Dips. And ranch dip.
That damn ranch dip is so damn
Cheddar
addicting.
and sour cream in the ranch dip.
Everything is good in the ranch dip.
French onion dip with chips for me.
Oh, nasty.
You're nasty.
Katie was the name. I do remember that. It was her friend Katie.
It's not
Good job.
She
Good
said
job. Good job.
She sent the link 3 times. Put the link in the can't you put it in the chat, or is the link
You
too
can't
big?
put it in the chat. That's the problem. It's got to go to email. Unless you're on panel, is the only way you can put it in back chat, but not they won't let you put it in the chat. Hold on.
What the hell were we looking for anyway? Oh, the time, the early morning time.
You're the one questioning all of it.
Okay, and the friends who were there you go. On November 20th, released a statement that said the surviving roommates and friends who were visiting during the time of the murders are not suspects. What other friends were there during the murders? Good question. Is that you I see in that I think I see you in that glass, there you go. In that window.
That
Oh my
reflection.
gosh. Y'all stop it.
Clue, is that you? Clue.
That's my reflection.
Shut up, Sarge.
Don't you hit her in the back of the head, Cletus. I saw that.
Romper, stomper, bumper, boo. Tell me.
Did you
There-
see it? Did you see it or did you hear it, Sarge? That's the question.
Well, I saw it, and the sound was delayed. I got to line them up before I turn them over to the defense.
Oh Lord, have
You know
mercy.
how when you hear a baseball player hit a ball, the ball takes off, and then you hear the clink.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know, Jennifer Coffeetopper is going to be with Chris Cuomo tonight.
Oh boy, she is just lovely.
Are you putting them people's personal business out there? I don't need to know who's in whose bed. What are you talking about?
I get the Clue trampoline as my screensaver, according to Angel.
What?
It's for an interview.
Angel
Oh,
also
okay.
said I look like Walter Matthau.
Walter, who's that?
I don't know who Angel is, but she's not nice to the Sarge.
The Odd Couple.
I'm looking.
I know
right
who
now.
Walter
You know,
Matthau is.
Well,
And,
I don't.
She
Grumpy
didn't.
Old Men.
Oh, I love that movie. Oh, wow. I don't see that.
What the hell?
On the left, the older picture of him.
Kind of. This one,
Yeah. When he was just sort of,
maybe.
You got
I
it.
can
don't
see
see
it.
it.
I can see it.
Oh, look at that one.
Yeah, I can see it.
Him right there. I don't see it though. He's got a funny face. This Walter Matthau. It's like as round as a
Oh,
bubble.
isn't that nice? That's a great compliment without even trying. Thank you, Clue.
No, I said Matthau, not him.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. You're saying I don't look anything like him. That is a compliment because he's one.
Yes.
SOB.
It's a backwards. I don't think he's ugly. I think he's adorable.
He's got so much skin hanging off his face, you could make another face.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
I wish I
what movie was it where he said you got a really big ass? Eddie Murphy said that in one of his movies, man.
Yeah, that fat movie.
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
You got a really big ass. Damn, Eddie. He was funny as hell, man. Oh God.
I swear that screen name every time I see it. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
Your
The whole
trampoline,
club was
your
looking
trampoline
at
clip
her.
seems to. Your trampoline clip seems to have memories for people in the chat room.
Did we
That's
find
a chick.
What are you talking about?
Hmm?
What are you talking about?
Me? I'm not talking about nothing. What do you mean?
You just said that's a chick. Who are you talking about?
Oh, Angel.
Oh.
Oh my God.
What?
I can't find this. I only got one monitor. That's why I'm struggling so hard, you guys.
Why don't you put the thing in the back chat and I'll pull it up?
What thing?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I
which
thought
one
you
it
had it. I thought you had a link.
They said they tried to drop it on your side of things, I'm guessing.
I don't see that.
I don't see it in here.
Check your email. Man.
Yeah, if somebody emails me the link, I can pull it up.
Then you can throw it in.
Well, I can take a compliment, Angel, but it's sometimes fun to poke fun at yourself for others to have someone use. Yeah, there's 400 witnesses, for God's sake. What did they witness?
Katie Keeler's friend interview.
Yeah, the whole 400 witnesses thing.
I know.
I feel like that was kind of a
over exaggeration.
Well, I'm sure there's probably 400 people in the area they would love to speak with, but I don't see how 400 people that they could speak with could be absolutely critical to his defense. You know what I mean? Like, I find that hard, sort of just a waste of air to even say that, really.
A lot of people.
Oh, wow.
And Sarge, to answer your question earlier about the Kansas City thing, I don't think we've seen anything new other than that came out today about about Jared. I think everything else is still sort of just in limbo and
autopsies on the 4 students found each.
Did you find it?
I'm looking now. Hold on.
We're holding.
Sorry. This one monitor thing is a pain in the behind.
That could be Jennifer in the group chats that morning. I don't know what you mean if I'm the real Sarge. There, Pickle. That is obviously not my real name. My real name includes the name Bruno. How do you like that, Cletus?
Say it again.
My real name includes the name Bruno.
Okay.
Is that Irish or what?
I don't have any idea. I don't know any. I know 3 Irishmen that I can think of, and none of them are named Bruno. So
you don't know any Italians either, because that name is Italian. I was being a smart ass when I said bang zoom right over his head. Hey, remember that with the Honeymooners? You guys ever watch that show?
No.
You guys
I did a few. I did a few times when I was like 3, I think.
Is that he says? Is that somebody says Bruno? Is that a game model? There may be a game model named Bruno. Yeah, there definitely could be. There, El Detective One.
There was a movie with Sacha Baron Cohen named Bruno. I remember that.
Detective Juan. Someone just alerted me to another YouTube channel taking credit for finding out the info they did on the other Detective Juan. So in other words, tomorrow's video is going to be epic.
What happened?
Someone's posting a screenshot of that email I got back about old Detective Juan and saying that they did it.
They did what? They just what?
Got the info on him.
Oh. Yeah, you did dig up some good info.
Right. And if you show it on your page, you better be willing to be like, hey, this came from so-and-so.
We've actually got a service that I set up for us to use to do that. So, and I could say that it comports with most, if not, it comports with everything that she put on there. Then she's got things on there that aren't in it, but what is in the report is 100% exactly what Clue had dug up on her own. And this is it's a place, I'll just say it's been verified. I pay for that service so that you can look at people's background. You're not wrong with admitting that, right? I mean, it's the hell's there.
Well, maybe you should look up Dave. then he could have been verified.
Then we could vet him.
It was a bad joke.
No, that was okay. I don't know how many Daves are in America that might burn my computer down?
Oh me.
Search under people, name Dave. Middle name, blank. Last name, blank. But he does live in Horseshit, Idaho. Dago looks like he needs a hug, says Jennifer.
I don't think we're gonna find this video. Like, I think I know I have it, but I could swear it was one when they were in their house.
I'm satisfied it's not going to be found in this moment, right? In this setting, for sure.
I think it was played in the last stream.
I did Google that, and the only person that came up was a Grace somebody. She's got blonde hair. Grace Anderson.
Yeah, but it was in your last stream. You guys played this girl talking and she was crying
in the basement, comforting each other.
Let me share this screen, Dago, and see if this is it. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta copy and paste it. No,
it came up the night that we did the Dylan clip.
What the heck?
I'm gonna scorch through that. I'm gonna skip through it and see if I find it. Okay.
Okay. Hang on.
Where it is. You're wearing an invisible cloak. Okay, Mandy. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you.
I don't know. Your computer just freaked out.
Now, you know what? Dago's glitches are freaking contagious.
It's a YouTube computer.
Is this
virus.
it, y'all?
It might be.
Let me see if I can.
That's the girl. There they are.
That they don't talk about.
That's it.
They don't talk about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, she talks about texting Kaylee.
We can't use links in the chat, Brian. Sorry.
Y'all want me to play this or no?
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see. We want to know what she says about the calls she made.
Two of these
She made them, and about the time she made. We can decipher that.
Okay.
Have been childhood best friends, Kaylee Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan.
They did absolutely everything together. First dates, first boyfriends, graduated high school. They had their first heartbreaks together. Kaylee was 12, 13 years old. They're blasting Taylor Swift in the basement, comforting each other. I have never experienced before two human beings who just understand and love each other on that kind of level.
You got one good friend, you can get through everything, and that's what they had.
To know Kaylee was to love Kaylee. Kaylee, she was like the protector. If we needed honestly anything, she would just do it. I remember I had like a professor I was having a hard time with. She's like, Katie, sit down. I'll call the game for you. I'll draft the email. We'll figure it out. She was in everyone's corner. She was the voice for people who didn't have the voice.
If I had one or two words to describe Maddie May, it would be just an angel. She just made me proud.
One of the other roommates was a young woman named Xana Corneau. She was a junior, and she belonged to the same sorority as Madison Mogan.
I've never met someone like Xana before, ever. She opened her arms wide and let me in her life the day I met her. Her biggest joy in life was to be happy and to make others happy. Xana and Ethan were two peas in a pod. They were goofy. They both had a beautiful smile. They were both kind.
My first impression of Ethan was he's just this huge dude that you wouldn't really approach, but as soon as you really got to know him, you realize that he's like one big teddy bear. Our mutual love for country music is really what brought us together. We'd gravitate toward each other because we'd be singing these country songs.
This ain't the right video.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Whoa,
It shows the right Clue, it shows the right young girl and mother, but that is not the video where she talks about texting Caitlin.
You don't want to fall in love. Nobody probably knows that song with me. Okay, Kaylee's friend interview. Kate.
I swear that was played that night we did the Dylan thing. Because we were trying to answer a similar question.
I don't know why. This is so hard to find. It's crazy.
It is absolutely. Oh my God. I Googled that and it brings up that same interview.
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Mm-hmm. Kaylee's friend Katie crying interview. When I bring that up, it is the full interview. What friends family remembers about the Fort Slane, Idaho. Wait a minute. Oh, yoy. 1 second. Is cringe kid? No.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
It's not in here. Why?
That he was rude to the women.
Lord.
Oh, good news. We're going to be up in the 40s for the next week. Pretty awesome. She said this person, P. Fox, is saying it was the January 23rd dateline, and it's no longer available.
That's what I said. I thought so.
Let's jump away from it then until somebody can produce the video. Maybe email it to you or something.
It's this one, but it's no longer.
Did they clip it?
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I downloaded that.
Did they clip it then? See, why are they doing stuff like that?
Well, why did Cletus let us get tortured like this?
Because he likes that.
It's an hour and 23
That's what I
minutes
said.
long,
I don't
y'all.
think you're going to find it in this sitting, right? Like you're going to have to.
What I don't understand is why are they doing this stuff?
So,
why are they taking these interviews down?
Look, let me show you.
They've done more than that. They've done that with more than one.
Here, look.
Uh-huh.
I shared it.
They may be being considered as evidence in this.
Yes, this. I remember this. See? No longer available. What? Oh, my God. They do this a lot.
They do because this stuff may be being cut and put in it for evidence. And there's a gag order on the case. So,
yeah.
Well, the good news is, everybody, I have it downloaded.
You are a woman, Flo.
Well, is it going to be available even though you have it downloaded?
Yeah, it's on my damn computer. They can't take it off there.
Yeah, it's not like a download to a server. It's downloaded
Okay.
to their hard drive.
I've had that happen where I've had, well, yeah, I'm thinking of YouTube stuff.
So your mission, if you choose to accept it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know if I got too much.
I had that, Angel. I pulled that up myself and it's not in there.
I don't know why my phone won't
what friends and family remember. I pulled it up 3 different ways, and those 2 girls are there, but there's no conversation about that, whether they cut that out or what, but it's gone. It's those 2 blonde girls sitting there talking, and I remember watching that interview before, and I could have swore to God it was in that interview, and then I go back and I just scanned through the whole thing, and it's not in there anymore, unless there was another version of that.
Hey, you know what? We could actually put together a barbershop quartet right here.
We could, if you could carry a tune in a bucket.
Yeah, but you would be the one that carrying the tune in the front. We'd just be behind you.
Oh, okay. So it's all on me. Cool.
Well, the crew. Yeah, with that voice.
What was that?
Do that again, Sarge.
The crew.
Okay.
Next time someone does a super whatever, you got to let me say the welcome.
Oh, that'll work.
It'll scare off all your subscribers. They'll be like, damn.
That was funny.
I'll have to get that video tomorrow because I don't know why my phone. I keep saying my phone.
Yeah, we're reading chat. But just so you guys know, as a panel, the chat is both rooms in one chat stream on our side. StreamYard does both Dagos and clues, and all your chats come through in one. So the screen you're looking at is what we have, but we're getting 2 chat rooms coming through. Just so you know, it's twice as fast for us, whatever your experience is. At least. Because I do try to keep an eye on the chat room. And when I see something, I try to say something, but it's not always easy, you know, that you see something, say something, isn't, you know. Somebody's playing something from Friends.
Oh, I'm so irritated right now.
Why?
Yeah, thank you.
Because I can't find that. And I've seen it 5 or 6 times.
I'm telling you, I have it.
Yeah, the problem is she can't pull it up right now because she's got to search for it, and she can't search because StreamYard's got her locked down.
I get it. And I swear to God, Annie, as crazy as that sounds, I'm starting to believe it, because every time I've seen, there's a good handful of stuff that I've seen that has just disappeared. Okay. And I've started to think I'm crazy. Like, I swear I saw this somewhere, and then all of a sudden it's just not there.
That's all right. There's a record of it. We could review. When I say we, whoever has that video can review that woman's statement.
It's not even about finding it first. It's just that I know I'm not crazy. I know I saw this shit. They didn't realize that we were in this stream together.
I'm warning you about random. Send mini clue for the search. There you go. What mini
Do what?
El Detective
clue
says
for the search.
Yeah.
Tiny clue.
Yeah, I suspect some of these videos are being pulled down and they're going to be used as evidence. Statements people made. Maybe that's where they're getting
either that or they're pulling them down because they're giving people ideas that they don't want them to have. Okay. Detective Juan says on the Dateline episode at 1:45 with the drone shot of the house, you can see. Oh, I thought it was going to tell about that. You can see a white Elantra drive by to the apartments. No kidding. Really?
Swamp Rose apparently did a video on this too.
I don't remember him driving. Are they talking about the next day?
Right, we can see your comments.
I remember seeing the Elantra drive back on the road behind the house.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. On that day they were tearing it down? That green one?
No. This was way long time before that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, news outlets out there, and he drives on
down
one
the back
winter.
road behind it and looked like it was going to make a right turn down that way.
which we don't know it was an Elantra, but it was a white sedan.
It sure looked like one, yeah. It's a white car. I'll say that much.
Those people may be considered witnesses now based on their public statements made to the media and the information that they have where they said they sent text. That stuff may be of interest to the prosecution or the defense.
That's a good point Angel just made. Maybe these students are in the 2020 or Dateline are the witnesses who can no longer use, because that's a good point. Yeah.
I think
they said they couldn't use witnesses anymore. Who said that?
They can't. They're probably gagged now because they're witnesses for the trial.
Yeah, the people that were in.
So they had to pull that. They had to pull that down.
Right,
You know?
it's like what I said before. Right. You know.
Oh well, I'm glad I downloaded that then.
I have it in my video too, but I just don't know which video it was, and it would take me hours.
Isn't that the one that I paid like $80?
Yep.
To freaking watch.
Yep.
Yeah, I was freaking hot about that. I paid $80 to get access to that video.
Mm-hmm.
On the channel.
On date for
What did you do? Freedom of Information Act or something?
I did the same thing, and it didn't even work right.
No, I don't have cable, so I had to like go on Dateline or whatever
CBS
and pay.
They didn't even put it out if you had cable. You had to watch it. It was a weird scenario. I was in here live with it that night.
Yeah, they do that in football.
Yeah, and I don't think I streamed it.
I didn't either. I was in my Discord with it. We watched it in there, but I had to go pay money for it, and then we waited. When I finally found it, it didn't want to play right. It was a big pain in the ass.
I think so, Gray Pearl. They're trying to prove that people knew about it in the morning. I think with this, I've already forgotten the goal.
Now that's what we were looking for. Some information that shows that there were people at that house where the students were alerted before the police by hours, right? Not minutes, but 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The students knew that there had been an overdose or something in relation to a crime at that particular home in severity.
Right.
And the cops weren't notified for hours until hours later. Yeah, which is, again, I take that as a rumor. I don't accept that as a fact.
Are you ready to drop down so we can?
Yeah. I think I'm ready to drop out of
here. Yeah, we've been live for 3.5 hours. I think we're about good, guys. We'll have to pick this up. Listen, if I can get this stupid monitor fixed in the next day or so, I'm planning on it either by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. I want to do a show on Idaho, and I want to go back to the very, very beginning, and I want to play through and talk about every interview that was done with the Gonsalves family that we can find now, I guess, at this point, and anybody else that was involved in the case. I wanted to cover all those interviews and go back and see anything that we may have missed in those interviews, excuse me, and talk about that. That's a plan that I have coming up, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, someone's saying WSU Kim has all the gossip that long, but we've never seen documentation to verify it. Did she ever give you documentation, Dago?
She said she
showed me
herself with Dago.
She showed me some stuff that I made a promise to her that I would not release until she tells me I can release it.
But does it verify anything that we're questioning here?
Some of it does, yes, it does. Some of it does. I will say that much. And I have no way to prove it to you until I can prove it to you. It could be after the trial. I don't know when she's going to tell me I can, but she did tell me that at some point she will say, go ahead. And with something like that, I hold my word to it. That's just all I can tell you guys. That's the only reason why she gave it to me. I will say that certain things have been verified. That's a fact. Okay, I will give you that much. There's a lot of things that haven't been yet. Okay, and maybe I'll get that later. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. And it may be after the trial when everybody knows it already. I don't know. It's up to her. And I respect that because she trusted me enough to give me that. So I understand. Right. I understand it's weird to some people. I get it.
Gotcha.
So
what the hell was that?
Who said that?
Sarge.
Why?
I don't know.
You guys are getting tired because anything I say makes you laugh.
Thank you, Candy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm
And
ready to get off the
Mama as
computer.
well.
I just want to veg out for a little bit.
I know
before-
people got irritated with me and they can think I'm not being honest, but I will not go back on something like that somebody trusts me with for a reason. Regardless of what people think of that person. That's
Principle before personality. Anyway, all right. Listen, I'm grateful you guys invited me back up again. That was awesome.
Well, it's your last one. So
did you invite him? I didn't know that you invited him. I'm sorry.
She did, as a matter of fact.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
go dye your hair.
Saying, yeah. I wouldn't come up unless I was invited. But yeah, I appreciate it very much. And don't choke on your chips, although I'm rooting for the chips. And Dago, pleasure. I hope you get your monitor fixed. I hope it is a cable. Simple as that.
Oh my God, I do too, because I can't. You guys have no idea. My eyes are bugged out of my head from trying to watch this and that and not.
Yeah, no, I get it. So,
it's insane.
anyway,
but like I said,
awesome.
There is a special coming up, just so everybody knows.
Is it named Ed?
It is the 6th of February on Paramount Plus, and it's all about all of us YouTubers and
not me. My name's not on that list.
I don't mean me or anybody personally. I'm just saying it's supposedly about you, social media. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be interesting either way. It's probably going to make us all look like fools. And we explained to you guys tonight why that has happened. Okay. Every bit of this has come from all of the crazy stuff that's come out, and that's probably where it comes from, guys. So either way, it's just something to keep your ear to the ground floor for. Sorry, on the 6th of February, it will be out. Yeah, Rory's in the trailer, JLR's in the trailer. There's a couple other TikTokers in there that I wasn't familiar with. There's some other names that are mentioned in there. So we'll see what happens with it, and then we can talk about it when it comes out, of course. But like I said, today's Wednesday. I pray to God that I get this cable tomorrow and I can do this, fix this, and that fixes it, because I am going nuts with this. I
also,
can't.
please leave the door open to ignoring it.
I mean, why don't he sign up for like Geek Squad? What is that?
Sarge's mic.
Sarge.
Geek Squad.
You need to handle that.
Sarge Squad.
I need a third hand.
Okay, we're dropping.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight up here. Clue Manati and Mr. and Mrs. Cluminati, as Eddie says it. I love it. Mr. Saj, appreciate you as always. It was a good talk tonight. There was a lot we talked about in a short period of time, I think. 3.5 hours, and we talked about a whole lot. Again, guys, because of the change of venue documents, it opens up more doors. So like I said, everybody up here with me, thank you very much. I appreciate you so very much. Sarge and Clue and Cletus, have a great, wonderful night. I know I will talk to you tomorrow. Everybody in the chat, thank you so very much for joining us from both channels. I appreciate you all so very much. You're amazing, amazing people. Don't forget, folks, to love yourselves and love each other, and don't change anything about yourselves, because you are the beautiful people. And I will see you all on the other side. Have a great night, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.